What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Blazers Uprise Live. Today we're going to talk about some conference final basketball action. It's probably going to be a little bit of a shorter stream. Shout out to you if you're watching this back after the fact, but shout out to you if you're in here live with us. Make sure everything's good to go. Hopefully I'm not lagging off the very start.
Looks like we are.
We're literally already lagging. All right. Well, let me just chill for a second.
I think we're good right now.
It'll be hit or miss. Anyway, what's up, Vivek? What's up, Minitooth? What's going on with you guys? We literally got 4 likes, only 5 viewers.
Oh. Nas is in here. Portland Mid, what's up? And who's the 5th? There's 4 of the 5 viewers.
Good old off-season, man.
I guess I'm the 5th one.
I guess you are. That's a good old off-season, man. Good old off-season viewer count right there. Let me tweet out on my normal account, because we gotta get 10 in here. We gotta get double digits. This isn't even an intro with 5 people. Let me just tweet it out. Let me make sure the lag's chilled.
I retweeted it too.
Where's our regulars, man? What happened to our regulars? What's going on with everybody?
Westbrook said he'd be in here. I know Trevin has school, so I don't know if he said he might miss some streams.
Dude,
but it's not like it's super late.
Yeah, it just sucks because, like, working Friday nights around this time is so much better than Thursday nights. That's, like, kind of the main reason why I have it a Thursday night. But I know more people could tune in on a Friday night. I don't know. Strong Opinion Sports, I've never heard of that. Vivek. Zach Schaumler, do you know who that is? I have no idea who that is.
No, I've never heard of it either. I think we're lagging again. There we go.
Good old.
I think we're back.
Did we ever leave?
I don't know. It froze.
This is the most botched intro ever. I mean, I guess I'm glad that people are enjoying the stream clips, so we get those out of these. But man, nobody's here. Where all my people at? See, that last one we posted got 500 views, so people were enjoying those. But shout out to the real Uprise fans in here. Oh, I met Dionysus the other day. That was dope.
Oh yeah.
We're
at doing the DoorDash thing.
Yeah, I was picking up from Muchas Gracias, and Dionysus, however it is. He walked in, man, and he just walked straight up to me. I thought he was gonna fight me for something, or like was mad at me, because he literally like walked in and went straight to me, like walked up to me like quickly. I was like, whoa, it's just like unexpected. And then I thought he said like Blazers Edge guy. I was like, huh? And he's like Blazers Uprise guy. I was like, yo, what's up? And no, it was just weird. It was the first time anybody's ever walked up to me in public. It wasn't weird. It was cool, actually. Meeting him. Good guy. Good guy. Good conversation. But I was like picking up an order and in a rush and whatnot. But it's good to meet somebody from the community.
What if someone recognized you and just punched you in the face?
Oh yeah, Chad Doing's from like Salmon Creek, which is where I was when I ran into Dionysus. So maybe if I'll run into Chad Doing and he'll swing on me for something. But yeah, I thought you said Blazers Edge guy at first. I was so confused. I'm like, no. But
maybe he messed up because I think he used to post on Blazers Edge.
I think I just misheard him. I think I was just tripping. I was in a rush.
So Nas says Terry Stoss pulls up on you. That'd be hilarious. But
self-defense, bro. I might actually make it so that they need a new coach if he swings on me. Because he's old, man.
Leo's not here, but he ran into Terry Stotts the other day.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did he say anything?
No, I think he just said, "Hey, what's up, Stotts?" or something. But he was with his family or something, so he didn't want to disturb him. But he was just walking by. I think he lives in like Laco or something, and he was sitting outside a coffee shop or something. He posted a picture in the group chat on Twitter.
Did he? Oh, I didn't catch that part, but
Everyone was telling him like what he should say to him, and he's like, "No, I'm not going to do this."
quit dropping the big Stotts. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
bad.
that was one of them.
Everything you yell at the TV should have yelled it at Stotts. Should have actually like when he could actually hear you, man.
Yeah.
But no, don't do that. I do not recommend doing that. That's all jokes. Don't walk up to people when they're out with their family and troll them. I wouldn't even ask for a picture. I don't want a picture with Stotts. I'll take a picture with Stotts just to burn it. But anyway, shout out to the people that do tune in. We have a lot of regulars that haven't been tuning in lately. I guess they're not rolling with us anymore. I don't know what happened, man. It's kind of sad. It kind of makes me sad. But once the draft rolls around, things will be different. It's just
Yes.
that
It's
dead
weird right now because there's no trades going on. I don't even know if they can trade because usually when you get knocked out of the playoffs, you can start trading and making off-season moves and stuff.
But nobody's gonna do that until they know
Yeah.
what next season's gonna look like. So, yeah, it's that dead period, man. I hate this dead period. There's dead periods throughout the year. Obviously, this year was crazy. It was different because you had the COVID hit, and then the world kind of went up in flames almost, you know. So there was a dead period there where we could barely pull 10 viewers. Now I guess this is another dead period where we can barely pull 10 viewers. But what's up, Dave?
We've been getting more on these streams though.
I know. I'm just
this is
surprised.
kind of an
I wonder
outlier.
I wonder if YouTube didn't send out noties, man.
I got noties, but yeah, it might not have been
That's just
there.
weird. Anyway, so let's just recap the action. You had 3 games since we were last live. That was 2 Lakers games and a Heat Celtics game. The Lakers lost game 3 to the Nuggets and then won game 4. So the Lakers are up 3-1. The Heat won game 4. They were already up 2-1, so they go up 3-1. So you got 2 3-1 series. And I just want to lead this with a question before we kind of recap it because I'm curious, and I'm curious to hear what chat says, and I'll also tweet it on the main Twitter account. Which team is more likely to come back from a 3-1 deficit, the Celtics or the Nuggets?
My answer would be Boston, just because the games have been a lot closer and they could have gone either way. I know the Nuggets, Lakers, they played some close games too, but I just feel like the Lakers are a much better team.
Yeah, I would also say Celtics. I feel like people are going to lean Nuggets just because they've done it twice so far this year.
Yeah.
But the Lakers are more talented than the Nuggets. The Heat, I don't feel like they're more talented than the Celtics. I just don't feel that, right? I feel like Lakers are up 3-1 because they're a more talented team. Games could have gone either way, honestly. Like the Nuggets, you could make a case for them being up 3-1. I mean, they've been in every game. It's not like our series against the Lakers when we were down 3-1 where there's a game we just got wiped off the floor, you know? Like the last 2 losses the Nuggets have had to them, one was off a buzzer beater and one was tonight, and they were within, 5 points in the final couple of minutes. So they've been competitive, but the Lakers, I just feel like are the better team. The Heat in the Celtics series has just been weird. You have like Jason Tatum not scoring in the first half of game 4, then he catches fire. It's just like if you had Jason Tatum playing normal that first half, they probably win that game. You got Tyler Hero going for 37 to pull out like who expected that? You know what I mean? So it's just like maybe it's a product of the bubble, but I feel like this Celtics Heat series has just been kind of random almost. I don't get the feeling that the Heat are a better or more talented team than the Celtics. If I had to pick, I'd say the Celtics have a little bit more talent, but the Heat are up 3-1.
Well, I kind of felt that way about the Celtics Raptors series too. Like it could have gone either way with a few bounces here or there. You know, it wasn't necessarily because one team was better than the other. It's just who hit the big shots down the stretch. These are cases of which team makes the shots wins, versus just a team crapping the bed and the other team taking advantage of it.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I would go Celtics as well. Got some people saying Nuggets. I did post that on the main Twitter
Yeah.
page.
Malin and Vivek are both going with the Nuggets.
I mean, I said after game 2 that the series was over. I still stick by that, right? The Nuggets got game 3, but I think that was as much of a product of the Lakers just being comfortable up 2-0. Like the Lakers have dropped a game in every series, and then, it was game 1 the last 2 series, and then they closed it out. This time it was game 3, but now they're up 3-1. I think the Nuggets do win game 5, but I think the Lakers close in 6. Meanwhile, I can't pick the Celtics at this point, but I think there's a good chance that goes 7. The Heat could close it out in 5. That series is just unpredictable. It's too random. So the Heat could close it out in 5 and kind of just walk their way to the finals almost. Or it could go 7. I have no idea with that series. With the Lakers-Nuggets series, I feel pretty comfortable saying the Nuggets will win game 5 and then the Lakers will win game 6.
Yeah, I don't really see either one going to 7. We've seen so many 3-1 comebacks already this postseason. I don't see it happening again.
Especially saying too, but that's crazy.
Yeah.
So today you had the Lakers. Let's see here. You had the Lakers win 114-108. Jamal Murray was playing insane down the stretch. He did everything he could, but you had Jokic in foul trouble. That hurt him. Jokic only ended up playing 36 minutes. They would have liked to probably have played him 40-plus minutes. You look at Jamal Murray, he got 45. Jeremy Grant got 43. Jeremy Grant's been playing well.
We just had to trash him on air.
I know. Michael Porter Jr. had a phenomenal game by his standards. He had 13 points.
He's got to get the dig in.
Monte Morris has been playing good too, and that's nice to see. Because he's kind of like an unheralded player, but he's been steady for him. So they've had guys play well. Millsap didn't do much tonight. He only had 5. Gary Harris isn't really an offensive player anymore. He only had 3. But you had pretty good contributions from. Jokic had a decent game, 16, 7, and 4. That's not a Jokic, the game they need out of him, though. He had those 5 fouls, which kind of hurt him. But you had Jamal Murray down the stretch hit some insane shots, man. He hit some of the degree of difficulty on his shots tonight were just absolutely insane. He had just an insane, up and under with some English off the glass. He had a spin move to a left hand falling down flip shot. I don't even know how to describe some of the shots he had. I don't suggest anybody click off our stream right now and go watch his full highlights because we need all the viewers we can get because we're barely at 10. But after the stream, go watch his full highlights if you didn't catch this game. Some of the shots he hit were insane. And it sparked a debate, and I want your opinion on this. It sparked a debate that he's a top 5 point guard. Is that recency bias?
It's kind of weird because I felt like this season in particular, Jamal Murray became super underrated because so many people were crapping on him and just saying oh, why did they sign him to an extension? Like he's not worth the money. He's not even that good. But he's been pretty good for a while. He was decent against us in the playoffs last year. So a little bit is recency bias just because I don't feel like he's still, this game maybe, but with Jokic, he's still not getting the full all out Dame treatment. So it's hard for me to compare him to some of the top guards like a Harden or Dame or I'm trying to think of some other examples of that. But Denver has some weapons to where you can't just take out Murray and be fine. And I think Malone's been doing a pretty good job of adjusting. But yeah, he's pretty good. I'd probably take him over. I'm not a huge Kyrie fan. I'm not a huge obviously not a huge Westbrook fan. So I'd probably put him over those two at this point. But
Sorry if people stop paying attention. I had just a super loud ESPN ad play. I've been on this page for a good like 5 minutes, and it just randomly played. It was some song or something. But I don't, bro. If you switch Murray out with Westbrook, they're not as good as they are. Like,
Yeah.
Murray just fits. He can be your number one guy for stretches and just light up other teams and provide that scoring punch you need. But he plays within himself for the most part. He takes some tough shots, but he makes enough of them that it justifies his shot selection. Whereas a Russell Westbrook, the shots he takes, he doesn't make enough of them to justify him taking them. Jamal is just like, I don't see how you can put Westbrook above him unless it's, basing Westbrook off what he did years ago. Westbrook this year had like a good stretch in January, where he averaged like 32 a game or something like that. And Westbrook fans just pointed out, like, see, this is what he does when he's healthy or something. It's always an injury excuse with Russell Westbrook. Westbrook, you were definitely not first, but I'm glad I got one of my mods in here. But so he went on this insane tear, right? And you have all these Westbrook fans hyping him up. Jamal Murray is having a similar type impact right now, but it's in the playoffs, which is where Westbrook has struggled. And that's the thing. If you're going to evaluate players, you do have to take the playoffs into consideration. And with Westbrook, it's not like, he's being guarded like Dame and trapped full court and trapped at half court and not being put in a position to succeed, right? Like, I can't fault Dame for having to deal with that. It's like teams won't even guard him, and he literally just can't shoot threes. During his prime, he was kind of streaky, but now he's just broke from out there. So that's the thing, is like, he's not a good number two, and he's not good enough to be a number one. Jamal Murray is like, he's shown that he can put a team on his back against the Lakers and keep them competitive with the Lakers as the number one when Jokic is off the floor. But then he's like a good number two because he can play off the ball. He's a decent cutter, and he's a decent shooter.
You know what's weird, though? I mean, he only averaged 18.5 and 4.8 assists during the regular season.
Yeah.
That's pretty weak for, like, how good he's playing. I think in the playoffs it's closer to, like, let me just look it up exactly, 27 something. 26.6 before tonight, and then 6.5 assists. Mm-hmm. So, like, it's still nowhere close to, like, Dame or even like Trae Young like type stats, especially during the regular season. I mean, that's way worse than a guy like Dame in the regular season. He only shot 34.6 from three this year, and he's 35.8 for his career on, I guess, it's kind of high volume, over 5 attempts a game. But it's not like he's been this dominant at any point ever. So it's hard to know if it's just a product of the bubble and just him thriving under these conditions, or if he's taking that next step in his game to become one of the best point guards in the league. I probably lean somewhere in the middle, where he's definitely taken a step up and is going to be a great player moving forward. Don't know if that means he's in the top 5 in terms of point guards, but he's right on the verge or the edge of that, I think.
I'm curious to see how, like, players that played and stayed in the bubble, like TJ Warren and Jamal Murray now, I'm curious to see how they play, like, once fans are back in the stands. Like, I want to see if this is, like, a bubble thing for them, or if this is just a normal evolution in their career. That's the thing. He's still young. He's still only, what? He's 23, he's 23, so he's still young. So he still has room to grow. I don't know. It's just, like, some of the shots he's hitting are so difficult that it's almost like dude's just hot, It's like this is his...
Yeah.
Like, super nuclear stretch for him. Dame's super nuclear stretch, he gets like 53 out of 6 games or something like that. You know what I mean? So, like, I think this is Jamal Murray like scratching his ceiling right now of what he can do at this moment. Like, he can raise that as his career goes on, and if he improves, he's not in his prime yet, but he's scratching his ceiling right now with what he's doing. I don't think he can play like any better than how he's playing right now. Whereas you look at a guy like Dame, and like with him scratching his ceiling, Dame's ceiling is higher. You know what I mean? Like, so that's the thing, is he's still not close to that tier, but I definitely think he's taken a step up, and now you could make the argument that he's better than a guy like a Russell Westbrook, or he's better than a guy like a Kemba Walker.
Yeah, so looking at his true shooting percentage, his highest was his second year at 57.6%, and he's in the playoffs 17 games at 63%.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems more like an outlier than I mean, like I said, he's young enough, so he could still be getting better, but I don't think that 63% is sustainable over
that's
like
insane
a
for the shots that he's taking too, for some of the difficult shots that he's taking. But 63, I think that's what Dame shot this year, and this was by far Dame's most efficient season of his career. Dame played insane this year. That was with Dame shooting 40% from three and over 46% from the field. Dame shot over 52% inside the arc, got to the line a bunch, cashed in free throws, and Dame still wasn't even 63%. He was 62.7%. So that's the thing, is like the efficiency Murray's playing with on the difficult shot selection, it's not sustainable. So like everybody basing how good he is and evaluating him based on what he's doing lately, it's a bit flawed. That's recency bias, because this isn't sustainable. This is him like scratching the ceiling of what he can do. This isn't who he is on like a night in, night out basis. You know, he's a threat on night out basis, but he's not going to be doing this on average next year. I don't think he's going to average 26 points per game on a 63 true shooting percentage next year.
Yeah, so I'm kind of looking at it further. So it's at 48.4% of his threes are assisted on. So that means he's running like an offense and getting passed to almost half his threes he's hitting. Let me see what Dame's was at this year.
Dame's was at like 10% or something crazy low.
Yeah. So having a guy like Jokic completely makes it so the defense can't ever 100% focus on Murray, you know?
Yeah. That's why.
But like you said, he's also hitting like incredible shots. So, but is that sustainable, or is he just like super good now?
I'll also say that's why we need to utilize Nurkic more next season.
Yep, exactly.
He's not gonna be Jokic, but he has the passing ability. He started to knock down some threes. Hopefully he can improve that. He has like good feel in the low post, I feel like. You know what I mean? Like Nurkic he's not Jokic, and he's not like quite where we need him to be, but he has the potential to be a really, like, I think a Bam Adebayo type impact offensively. You know how they run a lot of stuff through Bam and play off of him. There's no reason why we shouldn't do that with Nurkic. You can pass the ball. He's a smarter player than he was last year. You know, that timeout with the injury, I think he came back a smarter player. The thing is, sometimes his like motor and engagement wanes, but I feel like if he was consistently a part of the offense, he's always going to be engaged. Because he's the type of guy to protect the rim, do the dirty work, that type of thing. You need to keep him engaged offensively, and it would take pressure off of Dame. It would relax the defense off of Dame, just like it's done for Jamal Murray playing off of Jokic. So that's a huge key next season. We need to we need to utilize Nurkic's passing more.
Absolutely. And that requires cutters, though. I think Nurk would thrive with a lot of off-ball movement, too, with him at the high post. Because I feel like he could throw lobs. He could throw those backdoor bounce passes. He can post up and throw passes to people cutting down the lane. I feel like Nurk has every kind of pass available in his arsenal. It's just kind of baffling that we don't take advantage of that.
So Jake says Dame with Nurk is assisting on a similar amount of threes as Murray with Jokic. I don't believe that until I see the stats for myself. I ain't saying you're lying, but
during the regular season, it was 28.9% for Dame.
The amount of threes he had assisted.
His assisted 3-point percent.
Yeah, in Murray it was 48%.
Yeah, so Jake's going back a year. But it dipped down to 28.9 this year.
I think he's saying like Dame with Nurk compared to Murray with Jokic, like that specific pairing. But I don't know why you'd base it off 18-19 instead of 19-20.
Because Nurk didn't play.
Oh, I guess that's right.
8 games, but yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, I don't think it's...
He could be right, but...
You got to utilize Nurkic more next year, though. Everything aside of specific pairing, Murray gets more catch and shoot looks than Dame does because he gets 48% of his threes assisted on. Dame got 28% this year, and when Dame was playing with Nurkic, I don't believe Dame was getting 48% of his threes assisted on. Dame even said it himself. He can't play off the ball like Steph Curry. Apparently, they don't have the personnel. I don't buy that.
Just to let you know, during the regular season this year, Jamal Murray's assisted 3-pointers were 67%. So 2/3 of his 3-pointers were assisted
and
on.
Dame's was 28%.
Yeah.
Dang.
Or his career high, like Jake says, was in the high 40s.
For Dame.
So, yeah. So there was a year where 77% of Jamal Murray's 3-pointers were assisted
That's
on.
insane. And he's a career 35% 3-point shooter. That's what's crazy about it. Is this year he shot under 35% from 3 with just at least on the ones he made, 67% of them were assisted. So it's kind of interesting to compare them that way. That's the thing though, is like Dame catch and shoot. I would like to see a stat for Dame shooting catch and shoot threes, but when he's hot, he's crazy off the dribble. But when he's not hot, he still knocks down catch and shoot threes for the most part, but he'll struggle off the dribble when he's like kind of in a slump. So that's the thing, is like, I'm fine with Dame shooting all those off the dribble threes, whatever, you know. But when he's cold, when he's kind of struggling, when teams are trapping him, you know, the type of defense we see in the playoffs, we need to utilize him off the ball more. We need to get him more catch and shoot looks, and that could get him going off the dribble, and that could make him, you know, build a rhythm. But that's the thing. It's just like, that's always the problem I've had with our offenses. If we don't utilize Nurkic as a passer enough, it's not diverse enough. It's too focused on Dame creating everything off the dribble. So that's what I hope next year that we see is a lot. Nurk should be averaging 5 assists per game next year, if he's playing
easily,
like 32, 33 minutes a game, right? Who knows if he can play that, but like per 30, let's just say per 36, he should be averaging 5 assists per game. He's that type of passer. Like, there's no reason he shouldn't be. And Dame had a quote in a Jason Quick article saying that, like, they got Draymond there to facilitate the offense, so they're able to use stuff off the ball. But honestly, I've never seen Draymond make a pass that I don't think Nurkic could make.
Yeah, the only thing Draymond can do differently is, I mean, he can handle the ball more dribbling than Nurk can. But if you're just talking about staying
100.
still, passing, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but like, you don't need Nurk to bring the ball up to utilize his passing. So, I mean, in more of a half-court set, Draymond can do more in transition. I buy that. But Draymond's a guy who's like getting 7-8 assists per game. That's why I'm saying 5 assists per game for Nurkic per 36, I think, is what's realistic. You know, he's not going to be passing it at Draymond's level just because Draymond can dribble more in transition. But just in terms of like the pass itself, if you just isolate the pass itself, I've never seen Draymond throw a pass that I don't think Nurkic would be able to throw.
And so Dame's 2-pointers assisted on was less than 10% too, which is so bad.
That's ridiculous. So what about total shots?
I don't know. So I just have the percentage of 2-pointers and 3-pointers. I don't see total.
I think he shoots like half and half. So probably so about 19% of his shots are assisted on.
Yeah.
So more than 4 out of every 5 shots he makes come without an assist. That's insane.
But so I looked at Steph Curry just to see.
Mm-hmm.
So this year it was only 5 games, but he was at 66.7%. Last year in 69 games, 68.9%. 2017, 18, 61.8%. 16, 17, 63.9%. So over 60% the last 4 years.
And I get it, like, okay, maybe we don't have Draymond or whatever, the facilitators or the talent or whatever. Mm-hmm. But, like, it still should be better than 28% of his threes. But, you know what I mean? There shouldn't be that big of a difference, like 68% to 28%. Like, that's a huge difference.
Look at this. Like, last year, 46.4% of his 2-pointers were assisted on. Mm-hmm. So that's... Dame, like I said, is under 10% this year. That's like almost half compared to a 10th.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
There's no excuse for that. You know what I mean? Like, Dame draws so much attention so far away from the rim there's no reason we shouldn't be able to utilize him as a cutter more, or maybe like use him off the ball to maybe draw enough attention to him off the ball that somebody slips a screen and gets open. You know what I mean? That's the whole issue that I have with our offense, is that we don't utilize Dame off the ball. We saw in the first quarter of game one against the Lakers us have a heavy diet of using Dame off the ball, and our offense was phenomenal. Our offense was beautiful, and then we didn't really go back to it. So that's the thing. It's just like it's not a personnel thing, the reason why we don't do it, because we have, in my opinion, an average passing shooting guard. I think CJ's big problem is he gets too like tunnel visioned when he's going one-on-one, but like if he's not like tunnel vision, like locked in on attacking one-on-one, I think he's a okay passer for a shooting guard.
But like, so Klay Thompson is not a good passer. Yeah. CJ's a way better passer than Klay Thompson, and the numbers bear that out, like assist percentages and stuff like that. So like why does he thrive in a system that's based on passing, even though he can't pass very much? But like, the difference is the philosophy of the offense is to create movement and move the ball and to spread the ball around, whereas our philosophy is to run pick and roll and ISOs and try to get those guys going. So like, I think if you just had an offense based around what Golden State does and told CJ, look, when you dribble into the key and collapse the defense, like, you should be looking for these guys in the corner. Instead, it's just like, hey, go get your shot or whatever. And so like, that starts with the philosophy of the offense. I think if it was designed to have movement and to watch for people moving, to pass the ball more, to give up a good shot for a better shot, that kind of thing, I think everyone would buy into that. And I think you would see that the personnel isn't really the issue. And this always goes back to the defensive stuff with me when people say personnel. When you don't have the personnel to run an offense right, that's when you need more movement. That's when you need to be more creative on defense. You need to run sets and structure where people know exactly what they're supposed to be doing instead of just standing around wondering if they're going to get the ball or not. So like, it's always funny when people use the personnel excuse, because I feel like if you don't have the personnel, you should be running more specific plays so those people know exactly where to go instead of just, oh, let's watch James shoot the ball. You know, it's just not a good offense that way.
Yeah, and going back to my point, you got CJ is a decent passing shooting guard in my opinion. You got Nurkic, who's a good passing center, right? Who's your small forward going to be, like Ariza? He's a smart enough player to make the right reading passes. It's not even like making tough passes. That's the thing, is like they were able to run just beautiful ball movement and a beautiful style of offense when they had Klay Thompson and Harrison Barnes as their 2 and 3. Neither one of those guys are good passers for their positions at all. But they could make basic reads and they could make basic passes. If you have a good enough offense that has good enough off-ball movement, a lot of times it's not like threading the needle on the pass or like throwing a perfect pinpoint lob pass. A lot of times it's like you're getting guys free where it's just a basic pass to somebody. So that's the thing. The personnel excuse doesn't fly for in terms of like us and how stagnant we are. We shouldn't be last in the league in assists. We just shouldn't. It doesn't fly with me.
Trevor Ariza, a lot of his career has been similar to CJ in terms of assist percentage on a way lower usage rate. So like, he does pass sometimes. It's just like he's not a high usage guy, so he doesn't have a lot of opportunities to have necessarily assists. But yeah, I feel like he's a smart enough player to get a lot of assists if that was the design of our offense.
So there was a Jason Quick article, and I'm going to quote just a small part of it. It was basically talking about let me try and pull it up on, because I have a screenshot of it. Let me actually try and pull up the actual article. I think I need to actually log in here. I forget what the website is. The Athletic. That's what it's called. All right. Let me log in here, because it was actually a very interesting article, and it focused on like using Dame off the ball, and it had some quotes from Dame himself. So I definitely want to kind of dive into that right here.
And even a guy like Melo too, if you told him that, like, in this play, for this guy, he'll be open, so when Melo catches the ball and he has a cutter and he knows that guy's probably going to be open, I feel confident that he'd make a pass if that's what he's designed to do. The problem is our offense is just like, okay, we haven't given Melo the ball for a while. Let's just post him up and see if he can get us a bucket or something. And that's not good enough in the playoffs ever.
Okay, so I've got the article here. So basically, in the summer of 2018, Mike Brown, who's the assistant coach for the Warriors, I'm not sure if he's still there, I forget, but he's an assistant coach for the Warriors at the time. He is an assistant with Team USA, and Dame was working out with Team USA in Las Vegas. And Mike Brown told Dame that Mike Brown urged Dame to examine how Steph Curry worked off the ball. In particular, how Curry relocated after defenses forced the ball out of hands. Brown suggested that staying active after the blitz and playing more off the ball could be the next evolution to Lillard's game. This is directly from this Jason Quick article. And then it goes on to say that evolution didn't come in 2019 when the Warriors were swept when the Warriors swept the Blazers in the Western Conference Finals, a result that was keyed by Golden State blitzing Lillard and daring the likes of Al-Farouq Aminu and Maurice Harkless to beat them. The thing is, I think Rodney Hood and Zach Collins played more at the 3 and 4 than Aminu and Harkless, so that's kind of a flaw in the article there. But that tactic was no doubt implemented when Brown and the Warriors staff saw throughout the season that Lillard hadn't embraced Brown's advice from the summer of 18. But like all things, the concept of Lillard playing off the ball is not as simple as it sounds, as Lillard explained to me at his kids' camp last July. And then this is what Dame said. Dame said, I remember Mike Brown and I had that conversation in Vegas last summer in 2018. We had that conversation, and I agree with him. But my team is different from his team. You have to have the personnel to do it that way. Because my main responsibility is to win games. Mike Brown is going to be in the playoffs, but I will be at home if I don't say, all right, we have to do what we have to do. What are your thoughts to that Dame quote?
See, this is where his whole loyalty to Stotts thing bugs me sometimes. I'm not saying it's like a detriment to him or a fault of his, because like I'm glad he's loyal. That's why he wants to stay a Blazer, but I feel like that's been entrenched in him, that the only way our offense can succeed is if he takes over and does stuff. So, like I said, it starts with the philosophy of our offense. So, like, I don't know. I feel like, how can he not see when he comes? So there was only 2 times I remember Dame doing a simple cut down the middle of the key, curl around a pick from a big, and one time it resulted in a wide open 3-pointer that he drilled. The other time it resulted in both defenders going with Dame and Nurk being wide open on a roll, and he took it to the hoop and got fouled and got 2 free throws. Mm-hmm. And I never saw it again the rest of the Lakers series. And that was just like the simplest of play, just cut down the middle and then curl around back to the 3-point line. So like if we can have like success just doing that, like I don't understand why he can't see, like, oh, look, I just got a wide open 3. It's been like 5 games since I got that open of a 3. Like most of my 3s are difficult, or I have to shoot like 40 feet to be open. So I feel like our system makes it so he feels like he has to do that, and like it's probably right for him to say that in our current system. That's why I feel like our system needs to change.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing, like, even if you don't get Dame an open shot or Nurkic an open slip off the screen, you can still run isolation or pick and roll, what they normally do after that. You know, if it like breaks down, okay, then you give Dame the ball with 8 on the shot clock, go set him a screen, run a pick and roll. You know what I mean? That's the thing. It's not like, I'm not saying completely eliminate the pick and roll. I'm not even necessarily just saying to like run that much less pick and roll. It's just like there's so many possessions where we walk the ball up the court and we slowly get into a pick and roll with like 12 on the shot clock, and that's our offenses. Instead, get the ball up the court faster, run some sort of action with Dame off the ball, and then if that doesn't work, then you run pick and roll in isolation. You know what I mean? Like when the shot clock is under 10, that's kind of when like, okay, well, you may not have time for a play to develop, so somebody has to go make something happen. So that's where you give the ball Dame, CJ, they go make a play.
Right, run the action. And then with 10 seconds left, if you haven't gotten a good shot, then do the stupid 3-man weave and get Dame the ball and then run a pick for him and see if he can create something real quick.
I hate that 3. I wouldn't say 3-man weave. I hate it.
I'm saying, like, it's fine to, like, if that's what you have to do to get him the ball, if he's, like, off ball and, like, not able to like get off his man very easily. But I just find a way to get him the ball. Uh, but yeah, I completely agree with you. It's just it's not impossible, but it is very, very difficult to take someone out of the game if they're not the main ball handler. Mm-hmm. So, like double teaming someone off ball, that would be a disaster for a team in the NBA where like you have four guys that can seemingly do pretty much anything or like the best players in the world or whatever. Yeah. So like if CJ dribbled the ball up and there's already two defenders on Dame and only three defenders guarding four people, we can just move Dame to the corner and just have him be a decoy, and we should score like every time if we had a creative movement. And but instead we just dribble right into the double teams and just continue like letting teams just completely take Dame out of the game, and just like, oh, what are you going to do? They double teamed him the whole game, you know? It's so frustrating.
I'm going to continue with Dame's quote here. He said, I remember Mike Brown and I had that conversation in Vegas last summer in 2018. We had that conversation, and I agree with him. But my team is different from his team. You have to have the personnel to do it that way, because my main responsibility... I already read that part, didn't I? I already did read that part. My bad. So Jason Quick went on to say, Lillard's point is valid. As the franchise player, he needs to assess and determine how to maximize the Blazers' talents. The Blazers during his tenure have had limited playmakers outside of himself and CJ McCollum. No love to Nurk, man. No love to Nurk.
What? In Quick's defense, he usually is pretty high on Nurk, so that probably was just an omission
Nurk
there.
Is a good playmaking big.
But, okay, so everyone knows from watching the games that Dame's been out that CJ's averaged, like almost 30-6 or 30-7 or whatever it is in games when Dame's missed. They played really well for a stretch before they started going ISO again at the end of the game. But in Game 5 without Dame, they played well, like moving the ball and kind of running some offense that they normally don't run a lot of. So like, it's just crazy to me how you could have a guy with CJ's ability but not have the personnel to let him run the point and run Dame more as the CJ role, or just at least try it out in some games and see if that could, like, maybe they could both thrive under that kind of condition, you know?
The bigger problem I have is that fans think you need to have great playmakers in order to run an offense. You don't need to have great playmakers to run an offense. You can have average NBA players and still run an offense and not cough up the ball. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing is you have a lot of Blazer fans that over exaggerate how hard it is to run a team-based offensive set. And it just boggles my mind. This quote continued on as Quick said, it's why Neil Olshey brought in Evan Turner, and that Neil Olshey envisioned Turner playing alongside Lillard and McCollum and being able to initiate and execute offense, much like Draymond Green and Kevin Durant were able to do for the Warriors. It never worked out that way, as Coach Terry Stotts valued the defense and spacing/shooting of Harkless and Aminu more than the savvy and playmaking of the poor shooting Turner. But here's why I say to that. When Turner was on the court with Dame and CJ, Turner was used off the ball more than anything.
Yeah.
Turner was parked in the corner. It wasn't like, okay, when Turner got in there with Dame and CJ for a few minutes, like, Turner would bring the ball up, but they'd still run, like, the same, like, bunch of perimeter motion, half-hearted, kind of running around, not anything legit, always resulting in Dame kind of getting the ball back and then running pick and roll. Or it'd be Dame bringing it up and Turner parked in the corner. They still didn't run a proper offense when Turner was on the court with Dame or CJ or both of them. So that's the thing. It wasn't because he didn't have a playmaker, because when Turner was in there and in that playmaking role, kind of like how the Warriors used Draymond, they still didn't run anything close to like what Golden State does in terms of off-ball movement, in terms of their style of offense.
It was obviously not this year, but the season before, I think they spent all preseason saying how they were going to do that this year, and they didn't end up doing it. But the funny thing about that is, so, like, we all bag on Mario Hezonja, but that was one of the reasons we brought him in, is because, like, he had a little bit of that ability to bring the ball up and take some pressure off by, like, handling the ball and maybe initiating some offense. But, like, the times where he did that with Dame in the game, the offense, like everyone just stood around and like no one knew what to do. So like we obviously didn't practice that or like even try to make it a thing. So I just don't understand why if you bring in guys like Evan Turner and Hazonia and then you don't even use them in the role that you're supposed to have brought them in for, like that's just doomed from the beginning.
Yeah.
And like the only way Turner had success was in the fourth quarter of Game 7 against Denver when like he's basically playing power forward because he was playing well on Millsap in that series. But like it wasn't like what his role was supposed to be. He was like playing in a position where we didn't necessarily need his shooting. But yeah, it's just weird how we don't like utilize those type of players.
It's a stats issue. It's not a personnel issue. And Dame is making it out to be a personnel issue, and I 100% disagree.
And along those lines, this is exactly why Ben Simmons would not work if Terry Stotts is our coach. Like he would come in and it would be exactly like Turner, where Dame would not give up the ball enough to do it. They would still think he needs to do that. We haven't seen any way, like creative ways to get Dame off the ball. You think that's just going to all of a sudden change once we get another player? Like they're not just going to completely change everything about their offense because they get Ben Simmons in there. They're going to require Ben Simmons to like start shooting threes and stuff, and he won't be able to do that, and it's just going to be a disaster. Yeah, Aaron Gordon's the same way. People say like, oh, well, he has some playmaking ability. Well, so what? He's not going to get to playmake at all on our team. So
he's not going to be able to run the court, which is good in a fast break offense, more than a half court offense, and he's a 30% shooter this year. You're going to park him in the corner and have him shoot threes, and everybody that hated on Aminu for being a 36% shooter and a really good defender, those type of people seem to want Aaron Gordon and his 30% shooting and his worst defense. It doesn't make any sort of sense to me. But Dame went on to say, like, oh, well, in Golden State, they have 4 All-Stars. They were doing that before Kevin Durant when they only had 3. So that's, is not because they have 4 All-Stars. They were doing it when they had Harrison Barnes instead of Kevin Durant.
I will say, this is why I want to keep Ariza, and I wouldn't mind keeping Melo, I guess. But they had a lot of smart players. Like, Barnes isn't incredibly talented, but he's a pretty smart player. Bogut is definitely a smart player. David Lee, when he was there, is a pretty smart guy. Draymond Green's obviously a smart player and a really good, he's got really good knowledge and, trying to think of awareness is the right word. So, like, I kind of want to surround Dame with a lot of, like, really smart, savvy players like Ariza. And I think that's why a guy like Ariza did thrive when he came to Portland. I know it's an extremely small sample size, and it hasn't really done that the last few years of his career. But, like, I just want some, like, smarter players that can help Dame maybe realize that he doesn't have to shoulder so much of the load. And
that's part of the reason why I want Bjelica, by the way. Because Bjelica is a really smart player and a good passer, and he gets 3 assists a game as like a power forward and a good shooter too. So that's part of the reason I want Bjelica. But so Lillard said, I would love to play that way and not have to create and all that. It's easier on my body, but it's not that simple. Basically saying, oh, you have to have Steph, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green in order to run that type of offense, which doesn't make any sense because Klay Thompson isn't a great passer, and, like, yes, Draymond Green is a great playmaking forward, but, like, you got Nurkic, who I think could be, like, a 5 assist per game guy. I mean, other teams play that way without that personnel. That's what I don't understand. They don't maybe play to that level, but they play kind of like, they have ball movement, they have off-ball player movement, and they get their stars good looks off the ball, right? I mean, Jokic in Denver and Jamal Murray probably is the best example because of how good of a passer Jokic is, but, I mean, you just look at, like, Miami, right? And the way they move players off the ball and the way they run their offense. There's no reason we can't run our offense like that and get Dame good looks out of it, because I think Nurkic can be just as good of a passer as Bam Adebayo. I know there will probably be people that disagree with me and say Nurkic doesn't have that level of passing ability, but I've seen Nurk throw amazing passes. I've seen Nurk throw pinpoint passes. I've seen Nurk see passes that I didn't even see were there. Like, Nurkic can be a good passer. That's the thing is like it's not a personnel issue. And that's what frustrates me with Dame saying this, is it's just like repeating what Stotts seems to believe and what the fan base seems to believe. And I just think it's so off base.
Maybe these comments were before the bubble and he was used to playing with Whiteside instead of Nurkic. Because that had a lot to do with this year, maybe. But I
mean, maybe, but No,
But
this was last July.
oh, okay.
So
Yeah. But so for the record, before anyone says anything, the type of offense we run is fine during the regular season. It's totally fine, and it can work to some extent in the playoffs. But it's based on someone like getting super hot, like CJ in Game 7 against Denver. You have to have a guy just go off in an ISO situation,
on
and if
tough
Dame's
shots usually.
yeah, and if Dame's being taken out of the game completely, and the other team's saying it's going to be someone other than Dame, then that's true that we don't have a lot of personnel to counteract that other than CJ getting hot. There's not a lot of guys that can just take over a game and score like 30, 40 points. I mean, Melo could earlier in his career, but he's kind of to the point now where he's not gonna score that much. But he had a hot stretch like in a few minutes in the third quarter, and then big surprise, he gets taken out of the game because it's his time to come out. Whatever. But besides that, like, so this offense can be fine because like most teams don't care enough to like want to take Dame completely out of the offense in a regular season game. But like when you get to the playoffs and teams can game plan and they're seeing you game after game after game in a 7-game possible series, you have to have these ways to create offense. And we've seen it. Like, I mean, we the one game we won, we only scored 100 points. It's not like we lit the nets up and we were like on fire on offense or something, and we scored like what 30 something in the first quarter.
36,
so
I believe. Yeah.
So we scored like 64 the rest of the game. I think we had something like 8 straight quarters after that first quarter where we only scored like 22 points at the most. It was all like 20, 22, 21, and like we just have to find a way to be more creative. And if not, we're just going to keep seeing this where it's either CJ gets hot and we stay in games and maybe Dame hits some cut shots down the stretch, or he just gets completely taken out and CJ struggles too, and we're going to lose series like this against really elite teams.
Yeah. This final quote by Dame was the one that I stood out to me the most. He said, well, Quick says, Lillard also noted that Golden State's system is in part structured around Curry's mobility, where teammates are trained to look for him relocating after he gives up the ball. And then Dame went on to say, Golden State emphasizes what Steph... Sorry, let me restart. Dame went on to say, Golden State emphasizes when Steph does this, he will keep running and they look for him. Based on our style of play, it's not what we do. It's not preached to us. Sometimes I would have moments where I would pass it, relocate, and now I run over here. And when I get there, somebody is attacking. And sometimes we would score, but how many times am I going to keep sprinting out to here and it's not turning into a shot? And now I have to sprint down there and chase Steph on defense.
See, that to me is coaching.
1,000%. It's not preached to you at all. Like, bro, it's that's the thing. It's like, go one-on-one and you get blitzed, okay, give it up, and now I'll go one-on-one, you relocate and they're open and you're Damian Lillard, I'm gonna go one-on-one and try and do something. And that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous to me. I don't know how to like explain that, you know what I mean? Like I don't know how to explain how ridiculous that is to me. Like, if it's not ridiculous to whoever's watching this, then I don't know how to explain it where, like, they get it. You know what I mean? Because, bro, like, so you're basically not playing offense as a team at all. You're not. Yeah. You're just playing rat ball then. Dame gets blitzed, passes, gives the ball up, relocates, he's open, he's Damian freaking Lillard, but Dame here admits, like, oh, yeah, I would sprint and relocate, but then somebody else is just attacking, basically going one-on-one.
And that confirms that our whole offense is designed around Dame and CJ being able to score, basically. Mm-hmm. And we don't really have much else, and it's so frustrating. Yeah. And the worst part about it is, how many quarters have we seen this year where we, like, explode and have great quarters, and unless Dame's hitting, like, unbelievable, like, hits, like, 7 threes in a quarter or something, it's usually because the ball was moving and we got a ton of assists and like we were passing up shots and the ball was like skipping around the perimeter. We were making good penetration kickouts. And then like all of a sudden everyone just goes back to the ISO ball and then our offense struggles. And it's like, it's so obvious. I just don't get how NBA coaches cannot see how obvious it is, like watching film and doing this stuff, that like this is the problem that's going to take us either to being this team that's always kind of right on the fringe of contending but not quite there, or stepping up into contender status and competing with some of these teams when we get that far into the playoffs, or like maybe pushing Golden State to a 7-game series instead of getting swept or something like that.
And
I'm not saying we can win a title necessarily, but like we'd definitely be more competitive in these series.
yeah, and this is going to be a stream clip on the main channel, by the way. So if you're watching this as a stream clip on the main channel, do consider coming and joining an actual live stream, or at least just subscribe to Blazers Uprise Live. Help us reach 400. You know, I'd love to reach 1,000 so people could donate and that type of stuff. But for just everybody watching this whole conversation is exactly why I think Stotts is an overrated offensive coach. Exactly why. Broken down more than I'm able to do it on Twitter or over text, and it has some quotes from Dame that kind of confirm my beliefs that, yeah, it's not preached to them. So that's the thing, is like moving off the ball and moving the ball, they'll do it now and then for stretches and look fantastic, but it's not natural to them. They have to like really try. It's not natural to them, not because of personnel. It's not natural to them because it's never preached to them. It's not preached to them. Dame confirmed that. They don't work on running an offense like that. If they did, they could probably do it and it'd come naturally to them, and they'd be a lot harder to guard in the playoffs, and you wouldn't have Dame having like 12-point, 15-point games in the playoffs where he shoots bad because he has to shoot a bunch of contested, insanely tough shots. He'd be getting higher quality shots by being used more off the ball, or by moving off the ball, you know, getting blitz, giving up the ball, and relocating. Instead, our plan against the blitz is, okay, we're going to run Dame into the trap by setting him a screen at half court, and then, he throws a cross-court pass to CJ McCollum, who's at half court, and CJ goes one-on-one. That's ridiculous. That's, like, amateurish to me.
Well, if you remember, we just don't have the personnel to run our offense because it's so complex, right?
That's what I've heard too. Our offense is just so complex.
But you said these quotes were from before the season?
Uh-huh.
So how does that explain previous seasons when we've had a ton of continuity with Nurk, Aminu, Harkless? Like we had the same continuity, so they should have known the offense and been because I've always heard like, off ball is just super complex. You wouldn't understand like players need to come in and like learn it. It's like the freaking triangle offense or something. It's it's so complex most players can't even handle it, you know. And if that's the case, then don't freaking run it. Like run something else. It's just so frustrating.
No, in previous years it was Aminu isn't a good enough 3-point shooter. You know what I mean? There's always going to be an excuse that's not the actual reason that fans use to excuse Stoss' offense. There always is. Like, next year, who knows what it'll be? Next year, it'll be like, we have a couple new players on the team, and, like, Collins was hurt, and Nurkic only got, like, 12 games, 13 games in the bubble, so he's still coming back. So, like, we shouldn't expect him to do anything or pass the ball or move the ball or anything like that. Like, that's what's frustrating. Jake Carey says, this is why Blazers fans should be rooting for the Heat to win the finals. Maybe we see some changes across the league offensively, but particularly team with elite shot creators. And the Miami Heat, that's why I just dropped that video. The way they play offense is just like, I don't understand why we can't run offense like that. I don't know. Like, I know they have probably better shooters, but like, you look at going into next year, I've been an advocate of adding Bielitsa. That would give us 40% shooters from last season with Trent, Hood coming back, Bielitsa. If Ariza can maintain the shooting he shot with us, he shot 40% when he was with us as well. So that'd be 40% 3-point shooters. We have a good passing center, just like the Heat. We have CJ, who's like Goran Dragic is obviously a better passer than CJ, as like kind of a secondary guy on that team, but still we have CJ who's a decent passing shooting guard. I feel like if it was preached to move the ball more and move players more, CJ would maybe be a 5.5 assists per game guy, and he wouldn't go into hero ball like tunnel vision ISO mode so much. And then we have Damian Lillard, who can shoot from anywhere within like 35 feet. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason we can't run a very good looking, productive offense that features ball movement and player movement and the kind of things that you see from the Miami Heat. And that's why I'm rooting for the Heat. That's why I love this Heat story, is because I love watching them play. So that's the thing. It's like, I'm not going to get into like why I like Bielitsa or anything like that. Like, I'm just kind of Bielitsa is a guy I like. But that's the thing. Like, we already have 3 guys last year who shot 40% in a Blazer uniform. Trent, Hood, Ariza. We could easily add a 4th. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like we don't have shooting.
How many games did we come on here earlier in the season and be like, Trent was like, or Hood, sorry, was shot like 7 of 10 from the field. Like, why aren't we getting him more shots or whatever? Like, he's shooting almost 50% from 3. Why is he not getting like more looks, or like, why are we not trying to design some shots for him?
Yeah.
And same with Trent in the bubble. Like, I know there were some games where he got like 9 or 10 threes, but like, keep getting that man open, or like trying to, but then we go for like 5 minutes and not even like try to get him a 3-pointer after he just hit 2 in a row. And like, the dude was shooting like 62% at one point, and we can't get him an open 3, even though like defenses aren't really even keying on him still.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's why you have Dame, CJ, Trent on the floor together with Nurkic, who's a good passing big. Let Nurkic
and Melo, who's like
38% from 3 this past year was Melo.
Yep.
So, but like, I'm not even like thinking about the power forward position. You have Nurkic and you have Dame, CJ, and a small forward that could really shoot the ball, Trent or Hood or whoever. There's no excuse for not giving the ball to Nurk and running off-ball movement with those 3 guys. You should be able to get one of them a good open shot, because they're all good shooters from 3-point range, mid-range. CJ and Dame can finish well. Like, Dame and CJ have so much attention. You should be able to get consistent open shots for like a Gary Trent Jr. or Rodney Hood if you utilize screens with like Dame, CJ, Trent, and just the type of offense that Golden State runs. That's what's just so frustrating about it. Is like, our offense, I feel like, could be so much better in the playoffs than it actually is. And I feel like it could be so much more fun to watch. And that's why I get so frustrated that there's just a million excuses that don't apply to our offense that are made all season long.
Seth Curry last year, 45% from 3, only got 3.4 attempts per game. He goes to Dallas, shoots 45.2%, so you know he's the same exact 3-point shooter. He's locked down, he's lights out from 3. Of 5 attempts a game, they got him. So that's the difference between a team getting that guy involved and getting him more shots, and us just kind of like, oh, sometimes he's open, let's pass to him and he hits a 3, and then let's not even try to get him another one.
And it took him so long to get comfortable here because of the way we ran our system, I feel like.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, is like, everybody, like, for the first like 30 games of the season, we're like, why everybody say he's good? He's trash. So many people were saying he was trash in the first 30 games. The most prominent one was Evan M, who, like, I used to talk to on Twitter. Some of you guys will know him. And he was like, he argued with me that Seth Curry was so trash and that I was basically dumb for thinking Seth Curry was an NBA level player. In the first 30 games, that's all I heard from him. See, Seth Curry's trash. What do you expect Stoss to do?
I heard Gerald Henderson was better.
Yeah, like, come on, man. And I was always on board with Seth Curry. I loved Seth Curry. And then look, he goes to Dallas. Dude, he's like he's borderline top 5, 6 man in the league. He got 12 points per game. He got 18 points per game per 36, shooting insane efficiency, 45% from 3. You know what I mean? Like, God, imagine using him off the ball, with Dame off the ball, with CJ off the ball, 3-guard line, with Nurkic as a passer. Like, there's no excuse. Like, with Evan Turner as a passer even last year, if you want to run smaller, you always have, like, that's the thing last year. You always had one of Dame, CJ. No, you always had 2 of Dame, CJ, and Seth Curry on the court together. There's no excuse for, like, being last in assists or bottom 5 in assists. I forget what we were last season, but
Tori, assists don't equate to winning. I get so mad at that argument. And it's not just assists; it's the movement and the just the scheme of the offense. And a lot of high assist teams are teams that run and because they pass in transition, but like, that doesn't necessarily equate to wins. But it's actually factual that when we move the ball and pass better, we our offense is better. It's
Well,
just
that's what I've
frustrating.
loved about this year's playoffs is the top three teams going to the playoffs were the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Bucks. The Clippers and the Bucks were kind of ISO heavy teams in a way. Like the Clippers lost to the Nuggets. The Nuggets moved the ball better, and they moved players off the ball better than the Clippers. The Bucks lost to the Heat. The Heat moved players off the ball better and distribute better. So that's what I've liked about this year's playoffs is it's actually been like good style of play winning out and winning playoff games. That's why this year's postseason has been phenomenal. I wish we could be playing them with fans in the stands, but the parity and just like the style of offense that's actually winning out in these games is phenomenal. The thing is, the only reason why people say, "Oh, it's just don't equate," is because you have like a team who will have like LeBron and like AD, like they can isolate all game, but they have like LeBron and AD. You know what I mean? Like they can win games like that. They could win a championship just isolating those guys. You know what I mean? But they still move the ball. They still distribute the ball. You look at the Golden State Warriors. Their dynasty, I feel like, was born out of the style of offense they play, and that's moving the ball and moving players. So
I want to address the question. So to know what's up, man. He asked if we don't move the ball off it, then how does CJ run so much in games? The reason is all our movement is all behind the 3-point line near the perimeter, and we don't have any movement towards the basket. So we waste so much energy doing the 3-man weave, and then our defense is designed where he has to chase people around and stuff. So, yeah. He does move a lot. It's just not the right type of movement.
Yeah, it's like we don't even need anybody but like Dame and CJ, right? How many times have you guys seen like CJ start down here and Dame has the ball? There's a screen, and CJ runs out here, then runs over here. Dame passes it to him. He passes it back. He runs over here, gets a screen here, doesn't get the ball. He screens back, runs all the way up here, gets the ball back. This is what I mean by just running around the perimeter. Nothing is threatening inside the arc. But that's how CJ runs so damn much. He's literally like just running constantly around the arc. But it's not like it's nothing towards the rim. That's what I have a problem with. Like, sure, like if CJ's hot, like, and this is a wrinkle, yeah, get him on a flare screen, he might get a 3, get some shots off this. But the problem is that's too much of the offense, and teams are able to scout that and see it coming. If we had like a wider variety of sets where this wasn't used as much, then you might be able to get CJ better looks off of this. That's kind of another one of my problems. But that's a perfect example of why CJ runs so damn much, and they run. I mean, the thing is,
the 3-man weave.
But oh god, I'm even gonna draw that up. Yeah, if you guys don't know what a 3-man weave is. But that's a perfect example. It's just so much perimeter, running around the perimeter, not even threatening inside the arc.
And CJ moves a lot by driving with the ball.
Yeah. So, anyway, offense is frustrating. It needs to improve next year. There's no excuse, man. But it's just like, I hope that the Blazer fans that defend Stotts are watching other teams this year and actually taking in what they're seeing. Watching the ball movement and not just saying like, oh, well, Denver's only moving better than us because they have Jokic, because they're not only moving the ball and moving players better than us because they have Jokic. Even when Jokic's out the game, they're doing a better job. When they have like Mason Plumlee in there, who I wouldn't say is a better passer than Nurkic, like I hope they're watching this and realize, yeah, we really are very stagnant. But no, next year it's going to be like, oh, he doesn't have the personnel, or oh, so-and-so is injured, or oh, we don't have a Draymond Green, or like it's just going to be a bunch of weak excuses for our offense, which I don't expect to change next year because I think Stotts is stuck in his ways. I don't think it will ever change for Stotts as a coach, which is why I want a new coach. It's a perfect example why.
And this is why I hated the injury excuse all season, is because if we don't change anything next year, our coach and our organization thought the same way, right? Mm-hmm. So they were like, oh, we were only the 8th seed because we're injured. We only didn't do well in the playoffs because Dame got hurt his finger in game 3 and then his knee in game 4, whatever. So like if we come back and do the same things, it's simply because we think with a healthier team, we're better than we showed last year, right? Instead of like making the necessary improvements to take it over the top.
Yeah, and that's what
So
will
that,
happen. We'll like win like 48, 49, 50 games next year, maybe get like the 4 or 5 seed, and we might even win in the first round against a mediocre team, but like then we'll go against the Warriors or the Clippers or the Lakers and we'll lose in like 5 games. And then we'll be at the same point next season. Next off season.
yeah.
That's what I expect. Maybe I should clip this and like find like I don't know, somebody bookmark this because I want to see this clip again at the end of
Detective
next season.
Trevin.
Yeah, Trevin, like you need to have like a workbook or something. I don't know. You need to like log this because that's what I expect next year.
And that's the problem with just because when we heard it, like, oh, when we get Nurk and Collins back, we'll be better. You know? Like, and nothing changes. Like, I mean, yeah, we were a little better offensively. Defensively, we're still complete crap. It's just
Defense.
I have a feeling, yeah, defensively, but I have a feeling we're going to see that next year where they just think that we have better personnel because we'll have Ariza back, we'll have Nurkic or whatever moves we make with those guys, you know. But yeah, it's just frustrating because we can see this happening and what's going to happen if we continue going that route and always making excuses. And the fact that we had personnel like a Wenyan Gabriel, a Nasir Little. I know he wasn't able to play really in the bubble, but like earlier in the season when we were having defensive deficiencies, we could have run some creative defensive schemes with those guys and their energy and try to see if they could breathe some life into our defense. But we didn't even try to come up with creative things. We just keep running the same defense over again, except for when we play Houston. And then just keep on thinking that eventually someone's going to figure it out and it's going to get better. Like, I just don't understand what the point of keep doing it the same way is. Like, try something different. And what's the worst that can happen?
Yep.
And like you said earlier, just try some offense, run some sets for the first 10 seconds in the shot clock. Don't walk the ball up. Don't get to a point where you're already at 16, 14, 13, 12 before you're even like getting into your offense. Like, run a couple plays and then get to that point. And if it breaks down, then you give it to a CJ and say, hey, you have 6 seconds, go create, break someone down off the dribble. And that's completely fine if you want to run your offense that way. But to do that all the time from the top of the key and the top of the shot clock is just baffling to me. And I just don't understand why we think that's going to eventually just work all of a sudden.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm tired of our damn offense, man. People be like, oh, well, we're such and such ranked in the regular season, and our defense is so much worse. Defense is the problem. We need better defensive personnel. But the problem is, like, our offense is fine in the regular season because teams don't really game plan for it as heavily, and like they don't sell out to take Dame out of the game, and they can't be as physical in the regular season. I feel like the whistles are more ticky-tacky. The problem is our offense is not, I wouldn't say it's good in the postseason. It's definitely not good against elite teams that we need to beat to contend. So that's the thing. Like, with Dame and CJ, we're never gonna have like a top 5 defense. So we need to have a top 5 offense in order to beat a contending team. The problem is, with the way our offense is ran, we will never have a top 5 offense in like terms of like the postseason. Maybe in the regular season we might be able to be a 4th or 5th best offense, but in terms of like the postseason, we won't have a top 5 offense with the way we're running things. And it's going to lead to us never being able to truly contend, which is like this whole offseason is based around what can we do to finally contend. Mm-hmm. The thing is, it's just like, I don't know if it's possible unless we have like LeBron and AD with Stotts as a coach. You know what I mean? Like, it's like he needs 2 top 6 or top 7 players. You know, like we need to pair Dame with Giannis, and even then, you know, like we wouldn't use Dame off of Giannis. We'd like use Giannis off the ball more as a 3-point shooter or something. Like, oh man, yeah, this turned into like. Kind of a Stotts. We haven't really talked about Stotts and coaching in a while, so we have a good.
Gotta get it out so fast.
That's going to be too long of a stream clip because we've been talking about this for a
Yeah.
while. So I don't know if I should cut it somewhere or make it 2 parts. What do you think, chat? Should I do a 2-parter stream clip? Is that even like, so we could make each video like 15 minutes? I don't know. What do you think, Eric? Because I don't know. Like, the whole point of a stream clip is it's not that long. So
Yeah.
if it's like for 40 minutes.
Yeah, and maybe. I don't know, it'd be hard to edit it, but yeah, maybe just listen to it back and take out the like best 15 minutes or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we could. We could.
2 parts would be fine though.
Shoot, I'll pay up. I wish one of my regulars like knew how to edit videos because I would give somebody $10 to edit this down. But also, I'd have to trust them, too. I don't have anybody that I know that I could trust as an editor other than, like, you. So, and my life's hectic. But I'll figure something out with that.
Yeah.
Sure, Vince, just wait till DK gets hurt, bro. You're jinxing it.
I feel like... Because Stotts was fine, like, the first couple of years, like...
Mm-hmm.
And, like, certain offense, like, when you have Aldridge or whatever, like, you can kind of get away with that, but we almost lost the Houston series where Dame hit the .9 shot because they made an adjustment to take Aldridge out of the series after the first 2 games, and we didn't adjust after that, right? The next year, I can't really blame him because we had all the injuries and stuff. But pretty much every year after that, we haven't done anything different in any series than our normal stuff, right? So that's the frustrating part is now going on 5 years in the playoffs where we've just ran the same thing and we keep hoping it's going to work. And it's not going to lead us to a title. And I think that's the only bad thing about making the Western Conference Finals last year is then it kind of made some of these people think, oh, maybe it can work, so we'll just stay with it and keep going that way. And then this year, it was just because of injuries. So that's what I'm afraid of, is that they're just going to think this year was the outlier, not all 5 playoff series that were every time we go up against an elite defensive team, we don't do anything because we only have one basic offense we can turn to.
Yep. So I don't know. Hopefully we get shocked next year and we see changes.
Yeah.
I mean, you have one of the biggest, most notable Stotts defenders in freaking 503 for the fans sitting there on Twitter saying, yeah, we need to use Nurkic more as a passer and Dame off the ball more and blah, 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 blah. Well, I hope that when we don't do that next year, he'll actually criticize Stotts on it. I hope that Stotts gets some heat for not doing that next year. Because I don't expect him to change. I don't ever expect him to change. Stotts is as stubborn as they come. He's stuck in his ways. I don't expect any change. So I hope that the people that are defending Stotts but also saying, oh yeah, we need to use Nurkic more as a passer and use Dame off the ball more. I hope that when that doesn't happen, they're critical of the coaching and not just making a million excuses like they normally do. So that's my challenge to him. Somebody tag him in the group chat and say I talked about him on stream and he can hear this challenge for him because I've been arguing with him on Stotts for so long, but he's like agreeing with what I'm saying offensively. He's 100% agreeing lately. So I want him to join me and criticize the Stotts next year when it doesn't happen. Because we both want it. We both know it should happen. And it's probably not going to happen. So, there we go. Yes, I'm talking about 503. You can tag him in the group chat. Say I talked about him on stream. Said he will criticize Stotts. Dope. Thank you. See, we need more people that are just like not so biased for Stotts that they're willing to actually see that Stotts isn't doing the right thing and just run damn pick and roll offense all game long, all season long, all playoffs long. So we'll see how next season looks like. I am interested to see what next season looks like, what the team looks like next season, and what type of offense we run. Sadly, next season probably isn't going to start for another 3.5 months, but we just we need free agency and we need the draft here. Because the content around that will be dope. And people will tune in for that for sure. Nice that we got up to like almost 30 viewers. Everybody was late today. It was weird. Nurk will average 5 assists per 36 next year, 4.2 last year, 4.6 in the comeback. If he was 4.6 in the comeback, then I don't think 5 is enough. I think he needs to average 6. He needs to be utilized more as a passer than he was in the comeback, I feel like. Like, noticeably more. You know what I mean? So if he's getting 4.6 assists per 36 in the comeback, I don't know. Like, he needs to be... I feel like he wasn't utilized that. I'm actually surprised by that. I would have thought it was lower, because I felt like he wasn't utilized as a passer that much in the bubble.
Yeah, and he was obviously not in game shape by the end of the run. That was pretty bad towards the end there.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully he can get his conditioning back for next year as well.
Yeah, next year he needs to play 30 minutes per game, and he needs to be an 18, 12, and 5 guy.
But that was part of the problem. Even with foul trouble, he was playing major minutes, and we didn't really have... I mean, Whiteside was hurt a couple of games. We didn't really... Zach got hurt. We didn't have a lot of backup bigs to give him rest. So, hopefully we have some capable backups next year as well.
Check this. Oh, it was pretty close. He was 4.6 assists per 36 in the bubble regular season, and he had 4.0 assists per 36 in the playoffs this past season. The problem is he only shot 48% inside the arc. That's the thing, man. Like, if Nurkic just takes the ball harder to the rim more consistently, starts knocking down threes, and is utilized more as a passer, he's a borderline all-star. He's a better player than CJ. He's a borderline all-star.
Man, I wonder what like Nurk and like a prime Blake Griffin playing like the high-low, because they could interchange, like one, they could switch off who was high. Because unlike DeAndre Jordan, Jordan was just like a rebounder, dunker type guy. Like, he wasn't like a passer or a huge, like, you couldn't give him the ball in the high post to generate offense. So, like, just having two guys that could both pass and play off each other. Mm-hmm. It's too bad Griffin is always hurt and his contract's so high and there's no way to possibly trade for him. But I'd love to see him with a guy like that who can pass himself and finish in like a slasher type.
What the hell just played in my headphones? Okay, it's that ad down there. It sounded like a moan / a girl saying like the F word. I opened up.
Nas heard it.
I opened up Blake Griffin's contract page and it played. Man, that scared me. I jumped. I need to like figure out a way to like make my browser like muted, my whole entire browser or something. But yeah, so Blake Griffin is under contract for next year, then a player option for 2021, 2022. I forgot if he was expiring next year or if he had 2 years left. Because, dude, I wish he was expiring next year, because I could see like the Pistons waving him around the deadline. And, like, then we bring him in, like, very low risk, high reward. And, like, if he gets hurt, like, fine. You know what I mean? He was a buyout guy. Or if he's healthy and returns to the Blake Griffin he used to be, like, we would have no excuse for not running Dame off the ball. We would have a, like, 5 assists per game center and a 5 assists per game power forward. We would have no excuse, man.
Yep.
Malcolm, bro, I wasn't... Why would I do that, man? Why would I do that while I'm streaming? Why you guys can hear my desktop audio? You crazy. You're crazy, man. You're gonna have to listen to that back, right? That scared me. That was funny. Just some random ad. But it, like, stopped itself, so it was literally, like, half a second. It just... like, oh, my God. Late night hours, boys.
Garage Eric.
Oh no, let's not go back, bro. I don't ever want to go back. We don't got the regulars in here for that. We're missing regulars, man. Shout out to the people watching. Shout out to all you guys.
What's up, everyone? So Rip City 1977 brings up something I want to talk about. So he mentioned seeing Hero off the ball yesterday made me so jealous. But so I saw this article today about how the Boston Celtics draft room let out a huge moan when Miami took Tyler Hero at 13 and they had the 14th pick. I'm so sick of Danny Ainge trying to take like credit for people he doesn't get in the draft. Like it goes back to 2007 for me when he claims he would have taken Kevin Durant over Greg Oden 100%, no doubt, and that's BS to me. And there's just been so many times where he's tried to claim that he would have or tried to do something, but it didn't end up happening. It's just deflecting blame for taking Romeo Langford at 14 and passing on a guy like Brandon Clark twice, which would have been really good for him.
Yeah. There was a lot of rumors tying the Celtics to Hero, though, before the draft, I remember. Like, they were...
That's because they had, like, 3 picks, yeah.
Yeah, they were tied to a lot of players. But, yeah, that always comes out with they're always close to a mega trade or a drafting the perfect sleeper, but barely didn't get him. So they took Romeo Langford at 14 and Tyler Hero got taken at 13. It's always stuff like that. So, yeah, at this point, it's like, yeah, there's definitely... It's definitely not like, oh, they just have so many near misses. Especially when they ran as good as they are and their personnel moves are as good as they are. It's definitely not just that many near misses.
They try to trade 4 first-round picks for Justice Winslow.
Really? I thought that was the Hornets.
No, it was the Hornets had the 9th pick and they took Frank Kaminsky. But when Detroit took Stanley Johnson at 8, Boston called Charlotte and offered them 4 first-round picks for number 9, and they refused.
Believe that. I don't.
No, it's true. It's true.
4 first-round picks. It's been confirmed. Yeah. Pick.
Yeah.
Bro, Boston is stupid. Charlotte is even dumber.
Yeah, and then they took Frank Kaminsky. And
Frank Kaminsky. That. Oh my god. Yep. Yeah, I remember it was something like that. Jeez, man. Come on, MJ. You better run your NASCAR team better, man.
Yeah, like Alex said, the latest article I read said they tried to throw in 2 second-rounders as well.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
All for Justice Winslow. God. All for Justice Winslow. And they said no for Frank Kaminsky. And then the Heat take Justice Winslow and, like, that's the thing. I wonder if they still had Justice Winslow if they go on this run. Like, I wonder how he would have fit into this playoff run.
Well, he didn't play... Did he even play this year? Maybe just a couple games? Like 5 games?
Let me search it up.
He was hurt the entire year, and then he got traded and didn't play for Memphis, I don't think. But, yeah.
But, like, he played 11 games this year.
But Crowder's been great for them. So.
He never played for Memphis.
Yeah.
He played 11 for Miami, started 5. But that's the thing. Like, his style of play, I wonder how it would have fit into this playoff wouldn't have fit, run. Yeah, so I wonder if they'd even be here. Like, that's the type of guy that doesn't fit in, you know?
Why did Memphis do that trade?
I don't know.
Didn't even get, like, a second-round pick or anything. And now Waiters is on their books for next year, too, and...
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, Memphis is making moves. It's just the deadline kind of had me scratching my head.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, we can't win every trade, I guess, but, like, we were saying, like, there's no way they're getting... Like, they value Justice Winslow enough to give up Iguodala and Crowder, right? And take on all that salary.
Yeah, yikes. So, anyway, you want to wrap up the stream soon?
Sure.
All right. Oh, I just realized you had emojis up here. Let's click on the tear emoji. Okay, there we go.
So what?
I clicked on the tear emoji. There's, like, emojis here. They were like on screen. Oh no, it wasn't. It was barely off the screen.
That's like because I saw also Winslow, people wanting Winslow on the Blazers. It's like no, that'd be a horrible fit. He'd be like Kazondia this year.
Oh no. Yeah, they want Winslow and Aaron Gordon. Man, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me. But I don't know, like. If Bradley Beal becomes available, that's who they need to go after.
The Grizzlies?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, if you put Ja and Bradley Beal together, with Ja, like, maybe taking a second-year step, that backcourt is gonna be lethal. and then you have like a Jaren Jackson Jr. as well. I don't know. I don't know if they could go and get Bradley Beal without giving up Jaren Jackson Jr., but like Brandon Clark is a good start. I feel like the Wizards might be dumb and value Dylan Brooks or something. And then you toss in a bunch of picks. I don't know. Pair Brandon Clark with my guy Rui, bro. Get that Gonzaga pairing back. I would become a Wizards fan for sure if they had Rui and Brandon Clark, man. And my guy Mo Wagner. I wish. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I would be a Wizards fan. Secondary, of course, just because I like those guys. Still got Rui over Hero long term, Tori. I'm gonna say that Hero's gonna be better than Rui. Obviously, I was sleeping on Hero. Oh, gotta rub it in. You were right on Hero. Congrats. But Rui is the type of guy that I feel like could be like slept on for 3 years and like third or fourth year just turns into like a fringe all-star. I'm not sure Hero will ever be like an all-star, you know? So I don't know. Cuz I like Rui's the way Rui can handle the ball and his size and the way he moves with the ball and his his mid-range shot is nice. If he can stretch out his touch to three, like if he can become a decent three-point shooter, I feel like he's going to be like a maybe not quite as good of a shooter as Tobias Harris, but kind of in that type of mold of player. I am a bit biased though. It's Rui, so.
On the post-game show last night, they were talking a lot about how at Kentucky he didn't really run pick and roll that much, so they didn't know he was so good, like as the ball handler and pick and roll and stuff. So it's something like when you're analyzing someone in a draft, if they don't do it, I think they said he did it like 5 times in his at Kentucky or something.
That's
so
the thing with Kentucky though, with Coach Cal, he limits a lot of guys. You look at Bam. Bam didn't play make at all. Like,
well, you also have so many good players on the team that it's hard to like show everything you have because
yeah, but the thing is, like, Bam was like a top 10 prospect coming out of high school. Tyler Hero wasn't. He was, bro. Tyler Hero is such a weird case. Let me look up. What was it? 2019 was Hero's graduation class? No, 2018.
No, about 2018. Yeah.
Okay, let me see where he was ranked in 2018, just based off ESPN. He was ranked 30th.
Jake said he was top 20 at one point. Yeah.
He was ranked 30th. So like he was a guy who wasn't like top 10. You know, Bam, I believe. Let me find what 2016. 2016. Bam was ranked 5th. I remember Bam was like really people were really high on Bam in high school, and then he didn't do much at Kentucky, and he fell to like early second round draft stock, and then he rose back up to 14th, and then got was it 14th or 13th? I think it was 14th.
He was 14th. Hero's 13th. Yeah.
So he rose back up to 14th, and then he became a guy who like should have been taken top 5, and he became an all-star. Hero was a guy who a ton of people knew because he was one of those mixtape wonders. You know what I mean? You always have these guys in high school. A lot of times it's like the baby-faced like white kid. You know, I don't know why, but like you look at like Mac McClung was one of those guys, and like Nico Mannion was one of those guys, or it's like the tall but like skilled, you know, like Chet Holmgren is one of those guys. Like Thon Maker was one of those guys. You know, like the unicorn type players. Tyler Hero was like a ton of casual people who just like watched highlight mixtapes in high school knew who Tyler Hero was, but it wasn't because he was highly rated. So for him to go from that but still being like low rated, like he was overrated in high school, like people thought he was like insane, like top 5 prospect, but all the experts said nah, he's like 30th, 40th, and then he comes into the league and is doing this. It's just kind of weird. I've never really seen that. Normally the guys that are like ranked that low don't ever end up panning out, you know, the mixtape wonders. Normally it's like a Mac McClung who goes to college and everybody forgets about him once he's in college and once they can actually watch him on TV, right? Normally they don't pan out quite like Tyler Hero did. I don't know. It's just kind of an interesting situation because if I'm looking here, man, there's so many guys like that aren't in the NBA here. Andrew Nembhard, I should learn how to say his name because now he's transferring to Gonzaga. But David McCormick, Javon Quinterly, Emmanuel Quickley, Devin Dotson. None of those guys are in the NBA. Kobe White's in the NBA. Jalen Horde was above him. Man. That doesn't even look like Jalen Horde. But Emmett Williams. Simisola Shitu. Like, Moses Brown was above him. Moses freaking Brown was above him. Yeah, so it's just like there's a lot of scrubs in here.
There's Anthony.
Damn, Olshey, 3 of the top 22. Good job, Olshey.
He loves going after those guys.
Oh, Nasir too. Too. So we got 4 of the top 22 from the class of 2018. Yeah, Nasir was 6th. It's interesting looking at these rankings after the fact, kind of. Shaq's son, he hasn't done anything. I think he transferred to LSU.
Oh, he had a heart problem, too, that kind of ruined his career, but
like, these guys...
he was mostly up there because of name.
None of these guys are notable. Ayo, where's Ben Darling at? He ain't in the league. Like, Jalen Carey, Brandon Williams, Kevin Porter's in the league. But, like, so many guys here that aren't in the league. You got Tyler Hero dropping 37 in a freaking Eastern Conference Finals. He was the mixtape wonder that actually panned out. It's just kind of crazy to me. So anyway, that's your claim to fame, JDC. Jake Carey. That's your claim to fame, man. Yes, I'm a Gonzaga fan.
In his defense, I mean, even he didn't have him being this good this year, in the playoffs, so.
Yeah, if I asked you, do you think in the Eastern Conference Finals he'll drop 37 in his rookie year? Yeah, you ain't saying yes. So, yeah, I mean, I've heard that too. Sherman said his work ethic is crazy, apparently. Yeah, you got to value that when drafting guys. That's why I was super high on Chandler Hutchison. I just think Chandler Hutchison went to an organization that wasn't a good fit for him because it was ran by Jim freaking Boyland. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if Chandler Hutchinson went to Miami, he would be, like, a really good player, like, potentially starting caliber right now. Because he has a crazy work ethic, too, and he, like, kind of fits into, like, their 3-and-D kind of wing mold. I just feel like they would have developed him a lot better.
That is why I am really high on Nas developing.
Yeah, work ethic.
But the
problem is, bro, he's going to have to become a one-on-one player with Terry Stotts.
Why are people asking me about random people like Mitch McGarry and Johnny Flynn? No, I was never high on those guys.
Mitch McGarry?
Minnesota is freaking stupid.
Mitch McGarry?
They took Johnny Flynn and Ricky Rubio over freaking Steph Curry. Like, just think if Minnesota would have taken Curry. And that's a guy who works his butt off, too. And, like... you got to find the hard workers. And I tweeted this out yesterday. You had Jimmy Butler after the game where Tyler Hero in his post-game interview gives all the credit to Jimmy Butler. And Jimmy Butler says, no, man, that's all him. He works his butt off, you know. And Jimmy Butler didn't think that way about Karl Anthony Towns or Wiggins. Why am I blanking on Wiggins' first name?
Because he's not notable. Because he doesn't work hard.
He didn't say that about Simmons or Embiid or Tobias Harris or those guys last year. I'm not saying those guys don't necessarily work hard, but like, where was all these comments about those players when he was on those teams? Instead, he hated playing with those guys because they didn't seem to have his same work ethic. What was it? The first day the gyms were open, he showed up at 3 a.m. in the morning or something and started working out. And
yeah.
Good night, Mom. and like Myers showed up, I guess, with him one time. That guy liked Myers, so like Myers obviously was working hard too. Um, but yeah, like that's why I'm saying this right now. Karl Anthony Towns will never be like a championship level player because like there's just something there that does not allow him to have that mindset that it takes to be a champion. So
Jake Carey, who are the hardest workers in this year's draft? It's hard to like find out that type of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yep.
When you need your bank, Capital One's top-rated.
Dude, I watched.
Capital One needs to shut up.
I think it was by Mike Schmitz.
Mm-hmm.
So someone put out a video of the creative ways that Stackhouse got Aaron Naismith open in the offense. Like a lot of elevator screens, but like he never did the same thing off screens. He would always do something different, so the defense never knew which way he was going to go out of the screen. And yeah, it was just going back to our conversation from earlier. It was just like, man, imagine CJ going through these picks or Dame coming off these picks. That would be crazy. But yeah,
I'm surprised you didn't name Tyrese Halliburton.
He doesn't like Halliburton.
Halliburton's a hard worker though.
But he doesn't.
I've heard.
There he goes. He named him there.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Because, I mean, he made a huge jump. So, like, Halliburton is the type of guy, like, I don't know, like, he has size. He's able to do different things with his work ethic. Like, I feel like Halliburton could end up being really good just because he's going to outwork a lot of people. See, like, that's the thing, though, with, like, a guy like Okoro is, like, yeah, he can be a hard worker, but it's going to come down to his three-point shot. And honestly, like, he can work his ass off on his three-point shot. I still feel like he might not be a good three-point shooter. So for, like, a guy like that, it's not as, like, of a defining factor for me. Like, MKG probably worked his ass off on his shot, but he ain't never going to be a good shooter, you know? Like,
that's why I like Sadiq Bey so much. I think he's going to be one of those guys that's a hard worker. Plus, he's like most of the wings and guards that come out of that Villanova system are pretty smart. Actually, the bigs are pretty smart too. You look at what Paschal's doing this year at Golden State, but like I feel like he could be that guy that people kind of sleep on, but he's just like a guy who dedicates his life to basketball and being great, and that can set you apart from some guys who are closer, more physically talented than you are.
Yeah. His form is not as bad as MKG's, but they're a lot similar, man. Riller, okay, we're not sleeping on Riller. Riller might not be a top 60 prospect to me. He doesn't have the athleticism. He played against small colleges, but it wasn't some like Dame where he obviously had the athleticism and the ability. Like, Riller's a guy that's like he's able to score because he's playing against less talented players, and because he's a small guard who's not athletic enough to stick in the NBA. And he's what? How old is he? I don't know who. Yeah, Riller's 23. So much showing his game on both ends. Yeah, I don't like the vibes from Riller. I don't know. I watch him play and it's just like this guy seems like there's always guards like that play against weak competition, like low major or mid major, that put up like 20 to 25 points per game and then get drafted and never do anything in the NBA, and they look like completely different players. I've heard a lot of love about Desmond Bane. I need to watch his game. From like what I know about him, he seems like a player that could stick in as a role player for sure. Like, he seems to have a pretty high floor for where he's being projected to be drafted, but I've known of him for years, but I haven't really focused on him enough.
The other guy he mentioned, Tillman, I just feel like he's kind of a safe player, so like, he's going to be solid. I just don't see a lot of upside for like a 6'8" bulky power forward who's basically a center in a 6'8" body. There's not a lot of things you can do with those kind of guys if they're not super quick or athletic. But he does have great fundamentals and stuff. So like I said, he will be like a solid, probably bench rotational player. I just don't have a huge. I don't think he's gonna like dominate in the league or anything.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't watched enough of Tillman, but I've heard some people like him. I don't see it.
It's kind of more of like a throwback player in my opinion. But
Alvaro says, yes, go ahead. I'll ask her out, Alvaro. What the? This was random. Yeah, dude, shoot your shot and get back to me, bro. You miss 100% of the shots you never take.
Yeah, I mean, if you're needing that in your life, like, there's nothing wrong with having a friends with benefit situation going on.
Oh my god, bro. We ain't gonna break this down like that. I don't want to hear Eric talks about friends with benefits. It makes me uncomfortable.
I mean, that's one of the best situations you can have, right?
Says the guy who's been married for 17 years. Your wife might not be listening to right now.
My mom already went to. No, I'm not saying now.
Yeah, your mom went to bed, so now you could go off the cuff.
If you're single.
Yeah, I mean, Alvaro, if you want to, then do it. If you want that, do it. Get back to me. You have to. If you get rejected, you have to tell me. You have to break down exactly how it went. All right? Since you asked us for advice, you have to come back to us with a recap. So I will be looking forward to that.
So, yeah, I don't think her friend would tell him that if she wasn't slightly interested in or thinking she would be a good person to be that person, right?
Yeah,
there's probably a reason why she's.
Yeah, why you need to, bro? He's like bragging. He's like, "Hey, I'm a scorer. Like,
yeah,
I got a wide open lay-in. Should I make it?" Yes, make your lay-in, bro. If you miss, I want to hear about it. You gotta own it since you brought it up in the first place. Oh my god, bro. Yes, go do it. If you talk about it anymore, I'm gonna give you a 5-minute ban. Jeez, you see him, bro? That's exactly what I'm talking about. He's bragging, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
She been giving me all the sides for a minute. Like, shut the
So that means she's not that good of a catch, probably.
Yeah, so I mean,
that's kind of like a questionable thing. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's Alvaro. So
because there's no way if she was like a really awesome like hot chick that he would be saying like, oh, I don't even know if I want to mess up the friendship. Like, he'd be all over that if she was showing signs. Right?
Yeah, especially if he's bringing it up on a stream in front of 24 people at 11:51 at night on freaking Blazers Uprise Live. Like, come on, man. Go shoot that layup and do what you want. This isn't a Zacho situation. Zacho actually needed advice. You don't need... You're just trying to brag, man. Just shut that down. I do want to recap though when you like get shocked when she rejects you. He's gonna shoot the lay-in off the bottom of the rim, bro. It's gonna come back, hit him in the face.
He's been reading the signs wrong the whole time.
I was actually asking a question though. Shut that. Oh man.
Why did Alex Wolf ask if he's allowed to eat while in the toilet? That's like the weirdest question I think we've ever been asked.
I don't know, man. It's getting to that point of night. What's funny is, like, dude, it took us forever to reach 24 viewers. It literally took us 30 minutes of streaming, but now it's like we're hanging at 24 viewers while this is the conversation. I don't get it. I figure at this point, normally 12 people click off the video. I guess is what they were waiting for. I don't know. Like, late night action. I don't know, man. But yeah, draft talk. Anyway, thanks Alvaro. He just derailed the stream. But like, I've heard LaMelo's a hard worker, but I don't know how much I mean, I'm sure he's a decent worker, but I don't know. I like Hallie a lot. I want to know how hard of a worker Poku is, because I feel like if Poku is a hard worker, then he'll be really good someday.
This is the frustrating thing about the workouts, because you heard rumors about Dame just being a workout monster.
Yeah.
But like, it's hard to even know. I've been getting recommended all these Tristan Joss, or however you say his last name, videos lately on YouTube. I don't know why, but you know who that is?
No. Tristan Josh?
Jo-
Tristan Joss?
Joss or Joss, Jass. He's like a YouTuber who goes and plays pickup. He's got good handles and um, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You would know him at
Maybe,
T-Jazz.
yeah.
Yeah, you would know if you saw him, but it's frustrating the crap out of me because he's posting all these videos of like over the past like 4 or 5 months just going to parks and like there's like hundreds of people there watching. He's like getting people to go down and watch him and stuff. And they're all like during a pandemic, all playing basketball, no mask, like just going all crazy and stuff. So it's like frustrating that we can't go play, but like
somebody's probably ended up dead because of him doing that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, no respect for that.
But back to LaMelo. Yeah, the clips I saw from those, whatever that Ball in the Family videos they used to post on Facebook or wherever it was, like that family is just like, not, you can be dumb, I guess, in real life and be fine basketball IQ wise, but like it kind of scares me. It is a red flag when they're when they're that unsmart, just talking like in everyday life. Like there was a part where they thought Detroit was a country or something.
Oh my god, man! Lonzo seems like the most like level-headed out of all of them too, and he's been a bust so far, and he will not live up to like the hype around him. You know what I mean? People are calling him the next Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
God, man, it's ridiculous. So anyway, sorry, I'm just caught up on my phone. Yeah, rest break. Shut the hell up, man. I will not take any LiAngelo is good jokes in here.
You love LiAngelo.
I hate LiAngelo more than Michael Porter Jr. Dang, I could have fucking went D1 if I was in that fucking family. But then I wouldn't have stolen sunglasses and gotten myself kicked off the team, then blamed the coach for my punishment. You remember all that, bro? Like,
yep.
Oh god, and had to have Trump step in to like talk to China to get me freed. Like, what the hell, man? That's what that family is. That's like that situation was a perfect example of that family.
Yep. And then go play in like Kazakhstan or something.
Oh my god, dude! I'm so glad the hype has worn off for that family. The thing is, once LaMelo's in the NBA, like there will be hype around him. But like, if he like struggles for 2 years, like the hype's gonna die off because there's no hype around Lonzo anymore.
For his dad, I guess, yeah.
But there's no hype around Lonzo anymore. When Lonzo was coming to the league, there was so much hype around Lonzo, and there's no more. He has zero hype, absolutely none. It's kind of crazy how he went from so hyped to just absolutely none. Now LaMelo is the hyped one. If he's like not like, you know, like the next Luka or something, if he's like more like his brother and his career is more like his brother's, which is what I think it will be, he ain't gonna have hype either. Like, that's what's gonna happen. Like, people are gonna move on.
But I think if Lonzo didn't get drafted by the Lakers, if they weren't stupid, they would have. I don't think it would have been as big as it was either.
Yeah.
Like LeVar, for all like his annoyance and stuff like that, that man basically spoke him being a Laker into existence, and then got lucky that they got the second pick, I guess.
So
but
dumb, man. They could have had Tatum. They could have had freaking Tatum, and I'm sure they would have traded him for, you know, AD or whatever. But like, they could have had Tatum. And maybe they throw in Kuzma instead of like Ball, you know, or instead of Tatum, and they still get that trade to happen, throwing in Kuzma instead, and they keep Tatum. Imagine that, bro. Like, that wouldn't be fair. That wouldn't be fair. But there's so many players in that draft. Like, just thinking back, like, They should have honestly just traded down. There's so many good players in that draft. It just sucks that we botched that draft. We had 3 first-round picks in that draft. There were so many good players in that first round. And, like, I'm still on board with Zach Collins, but, like, yikes. That's the only thing we got out of 3 first-round picks in that draft. We had the 15th, 20th, and 26th picks. That's all we got. Like, I'm still on board with Zach, but, we botched that draft. We botched that draft. Like, even, like, I don't know. Like, we could have had, I mean, hindsight bias is 2020, right? But, like, Donovan Mitchell would have been the perfect third guard, and I was saying that before the draft. I had Donovan Mitchell like 8th on my big board. He wasn't as good of a fit as Collins, but he would have been perfect third guard, you know? We got traded.
CJ had more trade value back then too, so
yeah. But like we could have stayed where we were at and gotten like a John Collins isn't a great fit, but it would have been good value at 15.
OG.
We could have gotten an OG. We could have gotten OG, and at 26, guess we could have gotten Kuzma, but Kuzma's trash, so I'm not really tripping about that. But like, bro, we wasted that 26. We could have used that 26th pick and the 20th pick to trade up or something. Like we could have done something else. Like, but we used 2 first-round picks with really good players on the board for Zach Collins. I love Zach Collins, but And then we wasted one on Caleb Swanigan. And at the time when he got picked, I was just like, hell no. Like, I was so pissed, bro. I've never been that mad at a draft pick from any team my whole entire life when we drafted Caleb Swanigan. I was so pissed. For good reason. And, like, I was 100% right on Caleb Swanigan when he came into the league. Just guy that struggles with his weight, can't get off the floor, super slow, 6'8" power forward. How the hell did Olshey think that was going to work? Like, how? What did he see in Swanigan, dude? I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of see he does have some skills that you would think would be useful, but his weight issues just make it where he's not ever going to be athletic enough to show that in the NBA.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. And then this is a weak draft. I mean, I am down to try and trade up. Like, if it doesn't cost too much, I wonder if there's like a way to do it. That might be like a Trade Talk Tuesday trade idea. I might come up with one to trade up in the draft because we haven't really like talked about that as a possibility. And like Olshey loves the draft. If we could get like, I would love to get Halliburton to be our third guard. I think Halliburton could come in and do a decent job as our third guard. I think he's a great fit with Dame and CJ. Like, long term, if you're on board the Anthony train, I understand why like somebody wouldn't want that. But like Halliburton as our third guard, I would enjoy. Obi, if possible, if he drops. I'm looking at this mock draft right here. Let me pull it out. This is just Tankathon. I don't want to trade up for him. I definitely don't want to trade up for him. I don't want to trade up for any of these guys if it's like, I don't know. Like, I'd trade up from 16 to 13 to take Bay if I like threw in like the 46th pick or something. You know what I mean? But other than like something like that, I don't want to trade up for any of the guys below 10. I don't want to trade up for Vassell. I don't want to trade up for Okaro. I would trade up for Obi. Would trade up for Halliburton, Okongwu, Avdia, Hayes, Wiseman, Edwards. Those are like the 7 guys like that I would love. We obviously ain't getting these 2, but like I would love to somehow find a Obi Toppin or a Halliburton out of this draft if we keep the pick or like trade it up.
What about Hayes?
I'd be down with Hayes too because Hayes can defend and he's 6'5". And I like his long-term potential. He's not going to be ready right away. But any guard that has scoring potential, playmaking potential, defensive potential, and is big enough to guard both guard positions, I think is a great fit as a prospect. That's why I'm on board with Halliburton. That's why I'm on board with Hayes.
someone posted so CBS did like a studio show where they had Avery Johnson and two other guys like trading off picks as a mock draft. And they had us taking Cole Anthony at 16 because we need a guard to take pressure off a Dame. It's dumb.
I'm going to say this right now. If this guy... Let me put it on the screen.
They have Poku going 30th.
Yeah. If he is available at 16, I want us to take him. I 1,000% want us to take him.
I put Bay and Naismith slightly above him, but then he would be next in line if he is available.
Think about it. Like Bay and Naismith, they're like NBA ready guys, right? But like if we have the bench we should next year, they probably aren't going to be in the rotation for like a year or two. And at that point, it's like, what's the point if we're like drafting guys because of how like them being NBA ready, but they're not going to play? You know what I mean?
I think they're good enough to play sooner rather than later. They're not like
who are they going to play
or Simons.
Hood.
I mean,
Trent.
I'm not saying they will play. I'm saying I think they're good enough to play in the NBA right away.
They are good enough to play, but the Blazers in our position, we should have like a good perimeter depth next year. We should have 5 good perimeter players that are more deserving of minutes than Saddiq Bey or Aaron Nesmith. And like by the time like Ariza first season will be good enough, and then maybe he starts falling off, doesn't come back. But at that point, maybe Nasir Little. I might trust Nasir Little as much as I'd trust like a Saddiq Bey or Aaron Nesmith who had never played before. So
you kind of have to see what they do.
But like with that said, I would rather take the lottery ticket type guy. The like boom or bust type guy. I'd rather take Poku. Because, he's like the youngest player in the draft, right? We're not drafting him for him to be ready in like the next 4 years. The thing is, 4 years from now, 4 years from this date, he won't even be 23 yet. Right? Nurkic will be 29, right? So, like, you maybe run into a situation down the road where he gets good enough where you have to pick between him and Nurkic. Or maybe he's quick enough to play power forward or something. You know what I mean? Like, regardless. He's a 7-footer. His passing ability, his shooting potential, he has defensive potential that I think he might end up being a better defender than Jokic is. Like, he is the one guy that isn't like a top 5 pick that has the most potential. He has so much potential for where he's being drafted at that, like, I don't care that he plays center and we have Nurkic. He's so young that it could be something like 10 years down the line, we might win a championship because we took him. That's how I feel about it, compared to, like, going and getting, like, a safe pick that's, like, not going to play next year and then, like, might not play the year after and then, like, is going to be, like, 23, 24. I mean, Nesmith is a little younger, but, like, I don't know. I would rather have the guy with higher potential. Because I feel like we can find, like, role-playing wings.
See, I think Saddiq Bey is going to be a star, and Naismith is going to be, a quality starting level player eventually in the NBA. So I'm really high on both of those. I think they're way better than rotational pieces, but that's just me. Like I said, I put Poku right in that range too. But yeah.
Do you think Poku has higher upside than Saddiq Bey?
Obviously upside, yes. I just think Bey is going to be one of those guys we look back on in this draft and be like a Jimmy Butler, a Kawhi Leonard, or Paul Pierce, and you wonder, why was that guy not a top 5 pick or whatever?
That's how I feel about Poku.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about Poku, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if we're picking just on potential and not really thinking about how they fit in their team, but Olshey's going to get killed for doing that. Probably unjustly, because I feel like you should always just try to take whoever you think is going to be the best.
He'll get killed at first, and then people will fall in love with Poku's long-term potential, and everybody will be fine with it. Kind of like how it was with Simons.
Yeah.
Because that's how it was with Simons.
But now everyone hates him for taking Simons.
It's like we got two good young prospects at wing. We got Trent, we got Little.
Yeah.
We already, you know what I mean? Like, we have Hood there, we have Ariza there, you know what I mean? Like, there is no, like, super high upside wing, in my opinion. I am not as high on Sadiq Bey's upside. I like Sadiq Bey as a player. I just think he doesn't have the quickness to be able to attack consistently. He doesn't have the, I don't know, he's a little too sluggish for me, I guess. I don't know, maybe he improves on that, but that's kind of the thing that sticks with me is like he can handle the ball and he's like a decent passer considering like being like a 3-and-D guy, and he can defend, you know what I mean? I think he'll definitely be like at some point a starting caliber like 3-and-D player. I just think he's more like a Robert Covington than anything. Like he'll be a really good defender, really good shooter, and might be able to pass a little better than Rocco, but like that's like a really good role player. I don't think he's like going to be I don't know. Like, I could see him becoming like a Chris Middleton. You know what I mean? That's like the one like star player that I could kind of see him becoming. I don't think it's likely at all.
Jimmy's not necessarily super athletic though.
But he's shifty. He's shiftier than Sadiq Bey is. Which, I mean, maybe that's something he developed.
I mean,
you know what I mean? But like,
Bey is a few inches taller too, so maybe that has to do with it.
Doesn't Bey have short arms? What's Bey's wingspan?
I think like 6'11", I want to say.
I was thinking for some reason it was like 6'8". Let me search that.
No, he's 6'8".
6'11".
That's how tall he is.
Yeah. I mean, like, I like Sadiq Bey. I just don't think he's going to be like...
It's listed at 6'11".
I don't think there's any chance he ends up being like a top 25 player in his career. It might happen, but I think it's very, very, very unlikely. Whereas like a guy like Poku, I could see definitely being a top 25 player at some point. Like, I get vibes from Poku, like, they're not the same player, but like, I get the same vibes I got when Giannis was in the draft. And it was just like, looking at the physical tools and some of the raw things that they could do and some of the raw potential. But I was like, he's, you know, I was, what, in high school then, so I wasn't like sold on Giannis. I feel like Poku is like, I don't know, I feel like he's being so overlooked. I feel like you see all this raw potential there, but he's still projected to be like 17th pick, mid first round pick, under guys like a Devin Vassell.
Yeah, I have him close to my top 10, so.
Yeah. I don't know. I want us to take him, because that's the type of guy that's like, he could be like the next Jokic.
That's the type of guy who, if they do have like private workouts, will like rise up boards. So.
Oh yeah, like I could see him potentially going top 8. Like if I could see a team falling, like I could see like Detroit falling in love with him and taking him 7th. You know, if like a Kongwu's off the board, Avdia's off the board, LaMelo, James Wiseman, Anthony Edwards, and like Killian Hayes is off the board, and they're staring at like Toppin, who's like older, doesn't really fit their timeline. They might be like on, and then like Isaac Okoro, Halliburton. Like I can see them just saying like, okay, we're gonna take the lottery ticket guy. I just feel like, honestly, I don't think he's gonna fall past Boston. I feel like if he's there at 14, Boston's gonna take. They have so many picks, they can stash a guy, right? But they need like long term. They already have a lot of young, good players. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. They have some good, like Romeo Langford. I'm still high on him, like long term. Robert Williams is like a power forward center type. Honestly, like long term fit. Robert Williams, I think, is a good fit with Poku. But like they don't really have that like 7-footer prospect. So like Poku is like a guy that I think would be a perfect pick for them. Because they don't need wing help.
Yeah.
They're set on the wing for years. They don't need like a Sadiq Bey. Sadiq Bey probably won't ever get like the chance he deserves there. Aaron Nesmith probably wouldn't ever get a chance at anything more than the bench role there.
That's why, because Nas keeps saying they're going to take a wing or whatever, but it's like they have tons of wings. I don't know.
It doesn't make sense to me.
J-Do has a good. Precious seems like a guy they would take too, so maybe
The Celtics?
fall in love with him instead.
The Celtics?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. It's I need to update my big board. I need to raise Poku up. Because I just the more I love the idea of Poku, man. I don't know. I have him at 9.
So in our mock draft, I actually that's who I wanted to take at 20.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been talking with Calais, and he really loved him, and he was picking a few after that. So I decided not to like mess him up because like I felt like that was kind of doing him dirty or whatever. But anyways, I really wanted to like love him, but like the more I watched about, like I'm kind of worried about his like he's super soft. He's obviously needs to put on weight and get stronger and stuff like that, and that goes with anyone who's kind of raw, and like Simons and Collins and stuff like that were the same way. But yeah, he's
look how skinny Giannis was when he came into the draft. You know what I mean? Like you probably could have said the same thing about Giannis.
Right.
So
but I do, yeah, it's hard not to salivate over that potential though.
Yeah, I mean, my big board, let me see here. I got Edwards number 1, Wiseman number 2, Okongwu number 3, Toppin number 4, Hayes number 5, Avdia number 6, Halliburton number 7, Poku number 8, Kira Lewis Jr. number 9, Jamius Ramsey number 10, LaMelo Ball 11th, Tyrese Maxey 12th, Sadiq Bey 13th, Jane McDaniels 14th, Aaron Nesmith 15th, Isaac Okoro 16th. That's my top 16. Which I know some people will vehemently disagree with some of that. I'm higher on Jane McDaniels the most, but I like his potential. See, that's like another one of those lottery picks. He could easily be out of the league in 4 years, but I like his potential. Like, I feel like he's like one of the few guys that like I could see becoming a star, you know, like just with what he's able to do off the dribble. Just as a scorer. Granted, he does. His game kind of reminds me of Michael Porter Jr. slightly. But you know, screw Michael Porter Jr. But I mean, people disagree with Okaro at 16th. I don't know, bro. I just don't. A lot of it's just a vibe with me at this point. So,
gotta stick to your guns.
Yeah, man. Ramsey's another guy I feel like could potentially be a star. I know you disagree with that. What like non-lotto picks do you feel like could have like star potential, like have a higher ceiling?
I don't know. You're kind of putting me on the spot. See, the problem is there's so many guys like at the end of the lottery and like through the first round that could go. So it's not necessarily a big jump. I think like Trey Jones is a guy who I think is a little better than his brother, and his brother's been a solid player, like probably like not probably a star player, but I feel like he's pretty solid. Your boy Georgios, no, just kidding.
He could be a good role player though, I think.
Yeah. If we come out of this draft with Poku and Georgios,
let's go, bro.
You would be so ecstatic.
Bro, and I'd be like, okay, so people watching the stream aren't going to get it, but Rasta would be losing his mind. And normally I would give Rasta crap for it, but I'd be right there with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like Leandro Balmero, too. That's kind of a sleeper.
I'm not as high on him. That's the one European guy that I'm kind of like, eh.
But when you're talking about like guys who
I haven't watched them enough, though. I need to watch them more.
Potential that could pop. Like I tend to lean a little bit more towards the unknown players, you know.
Yeah. See, Nas agrees with me on Kira Lewis.
Jay Scrub.
if Nico ends up in Miami as a top 7 redraft in 5 years. I feel like you would say that about a number of prospects if they end up in Miami, though. Miami is like maybe the best at developing like unheralded players at this point. With what they've done with Bam, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Kendrick Nunn, like the culture, their culture is working their ass off. You know what I mean? Like the work ethic, like their culture is hard work ethic. You know, so if you get a young player in there, they're gonna buy into working harder than if they end up in like Minnesota or something. I need to watch more Robert Woodard.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get into those kind of players when I finish our.
I feel like.
Wow, Tankathon has Jaden McDaniels falling to the first pick of the second round right now, and Jameis Ramsey at 32.
I mean, I need to watch more Desmond Bane, but he got 4 assists per game last year. Shot 44% from the 3-point line, 6'5" shooting guard. Like, I feel like he's one of those older type of prospects that I haven't watched him enough, but just looking at him statistically, it's impressive. And that's against like Big 12 competition too, which is like maybe the best conference in the country.
What about Elijah Hughes?
I'm high on him from what I've seen, but I haven't watched enough of him. The thing is, a lot of these prospects I've seen a little bit of, and I'm basing my opinion off that, and I'm not like set in stone on them.
Peyton Pritchard.
No, bro. So is Desmond Bane looked at as a good defender?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is.
Jake said he's looked at as a hard worker. I'm pretty sure he's looked at as a good defender. He shot 44% from 3 and had 4 assists per game. Why isn't he ranked higher?
His age.
Yeah, but like that's the complete package. I don't know. I need to watch more of him, obviously, but like I don't know. That sounds pretty good to me. If a guy can defend like 3-and-D and has some playmaking ability.
He only attempted 1.8 free throws per game. How is that even possible for someone who scores that much?
I don't know.
Maybe it's like he can't play make at all. Yeah, I need to watch him a little more.
I mean, he got 4 assists per game, so I don't know how he's getting those assists. You know what I mean? But just like look at him statistically, I'm impressed. And like if he's a hard worker and a good defender on top of that, like that's just an impressive. Just like obviously that's just the cover. You know, obviously got to dive into watching him, but
like if you're the ball handler, like wouldn't you get fouled a lot at the end of games and stuff? Like especially in college.
I don't know, man.
It just seems like you should get. They list his free throw attempt rate on Tankathon as a 4 minus weakness.
In his draft age, that's his only weaknesses. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, but if he's a hard worker too, like a really hard worker on top of what he's already doing in college, I don't know. I feel like that's. I feel like he's gonna be good. I don't know. Obviously, it's just a vibe, but I don't know. I base my players a lot just like what I feel like. I don't even think like I don't even evaluate like okay, he's struggling to move on team defense, but his on-ball defense is good and his like helping recover. I don't like break down prospects that in depth. Which, you know, that's probably the proper way to do it. For me, it's just like I watch enough of them to kind of get a feel for who they are as a player, and I base it off that. But I've gotten some guys like on the money off of that before. So if I was a GM, obviously I'd go more in depth. I don't have the kind of time to. I don't know. I don't have the attention span to dive in that deep. But like, if Desmond Bane ends up in Miami, that dude's gonna be insanely freaking good. You know what I mean? Like, and I haven't watched him play hardly at all. But that's if he ends up in Miami, he's gonna be phenomenal. But like, you can say that about so many prospects. I want to watch his highlights. We need to get off the stream, but is he gonna dunk on someone? Ooh, he gets up too. Okay, he gets up too. I guess just alley-oop dunked on somebody. Okay, dude, TCU's court's nice. I love college courts. I wish NBA courts were more unique with like what they do in college.
Is this right? He's 6'6" with a 6'4" wingspan.
He has a 6'4" wingspan. Hey, Tyler Hero has a negative wingspan, so I
think I'm probably pretty close to that too.
Does a negative wingspan help you shoot better? Because like, doesn't JJ Redick have a negative wingspan too? I wonder if that helps you shoot better.
Maybe.
I wonder if that's a thing. What's Steph Curry's wingspan? I'm curious. I'm gonna search it. Steph Curry wingspan. 6'3.5". So his wingspan is like below average for a player's height. Steph Curry's, which means Seth Curry's is probably like below average as well.
I don't even understand how you could be like like a Nas with a 6'6" with like a 7'4" wingspan.
Dude,
or whatever.
I wish I had a 7'4" wingspan, man. Jeez.
Like, how is that even possible? Aren't you supposed to? Isn't your wingspan supposed to be pretty close to your height? That's what I was always thought growing up.
Yeah. He does look. He has a weird body, though. He looks more like a football player.
Yeah.
He looks like almost like kind of stiff. I don't know. His shot is weird too. What the hell? Okay, I don't know how I feel about Desmond Bane.
There you go. Now you're understanding.
What?
Why he's not more highly thought of.
His shot's slow, bro. His follow through is like down. I'm so confused.
Westbrook says if you...
His follow through is so low. What were you saying?
In 2K, if you lower your My Player's wingspan, you get a better 3-point shot.
Yeah, I don't know if that's actually a thing. Does this make me curious, though? I wonder if that helps. I mean, theoretically, it could maybe make a difference, but not sure. Dude, he literally looks like he should be playing for their football team. His shot, I can't get over how weird his shot is.
Mm-hmm.
His elbow goes down. His elbow goes down when I don't understand. He hits him though, but I don't know. This is just him shooting threes. I want to see him like. So does he have like a nice float game? Is that why? Is it like a CJ type of game where he doesn't go all the way inside? He shoots a bunch of floaters and like that type of stuff. That's why he doesn't get to the line. I don't know. We gotta wrap up the stream. The stream's been going too long.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thanks everyone.
I'll catch you guys Monday. Let me just say this real quick. Bro? He looks like he should be so physical. He looks so like.
I know that's it. You look at his like muscular ability, and like it seems like that's the type of player he would be, is super physical.
If a team can get him playing like that, maybe it could be really good. I don't know, but yeah, that's the thing. It's like Jake's like not really a driver and not physical, and he's sitting here like bulky as hell. Like, I don't know if you guys haven't seen him. Like,
he's swole. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
Look at this guy. Apparently, he's not physical. Look at him. This guy, like, look how freaking big. Like, I don't get it. Anyway, that's a weird player. You got some weird players in this draft, but I have to do my research on him and figure out where I rate him. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you tuning in as always.
Hey, there's Dionysus. Oh, man.
Oh, what's up, Dionysus? Yeah, Dionysus tuning in the outro. Yeah, I got to meet Dionysus. I thought he was gonna fight me because he walked right up to me. I was confused for a sec. I was like, did I cut him off in traffic or something? He followed me to Mooch's.
Hey Dionysus, did you originally ask if he was from Blazer's Edge instead of Blazer's Upright?
Cause he's
or did Tori just miss?
Yeah, I swear I thought he said Blazer's Edge guy at first. I was like, huh? And he's like, Blazer's Uprise guy. I was like, what's up? Like, I didn't know who he was. I thought he said Blazer's Edge guy at first, though. I don't know. I was also like, my mind is scrambled when I'm working DoorDash. I'm just go. Like, and I wasn't expected for somebody to recognize me in person. This first time, so this happened before, but people don't come up and say anything. I've told people. I did. I was.
Yeah.
See, I was wondering if I was tripping. I was like, because I heard Blazer's Edge guy. I was like, huh?
I like that. That makes it better.
Oh man, that's funny. I thought I misheard you. You delivered DoorDash to him? No, I was picking up from Muchas Gracias to deliver to somebody else, and he walked in there.
Are you doing DoorDash too, Dionysus? Is that why?
He wasn't doing it at the time. I think you do DoorDash though, right?
I thought he was the guy that was doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You should have asked him how to pronounce his last name.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. Because there's a Dion Webb on Twitter that does DoorDash too. There's Dionysus and Dion Webb. So if you have a Dion in your name, you do DoorDash. Dion the DoorDasher.
Triple.
We love our alliteration here at Blazers Uprise, man. Monday mailbag, trade talk Tuesday. At least we've been sticking to Monday, Tuesday.
2 weeks in a row. That's a record.
I just need to make that Pulse video.
Yeah.
Anyway. Tori new nickname, Blazers Edge guy. Yeah, no, thank you. Please no. Please don't associate me.
People are gonna confuse you with Danny Meringue or something.
I also followed him out without getting my food and started to drive away. Although I do dash, but I was just getting food. I was wondering why you started to back out and then you pulled back in and got back out of your car. I was like, what's he doing? I didn't know. Oh man, this guy's gonna follow me, murder me.
Next time, if any of you see Tori in real life, you gotta go up to him and act like you're gonna punch him in the face, so he gets really scared.
Well, shoot, I would have walked up to me like that too, but like you're not expecting somebody to like walk in and just turn and make a beeline for you and walk right up to you. I don't know. I just like I've never had that happen to me, so I was like, whoa. And I don't know. I drive so much, I expect to like piss people off at some points in the day, so I expect somebody to like get mad at me. Even though I think I'm a good driver, but like I've had people like tailgate me so much because I just drive so much in the day. So it's not. Nah, you were fine, bro.
We're just having some fun.
See, like if we walked in, just shout my name or something, I'd be like, "Yo," or whatever. But you like walk straight up to me. It was dope, man. I appreciate you saying something though, because people will like message me after fact, be like, "Oh, I saw you today." I'm like, "Why didn't you say something?"
It's like he hasn't been in here in a while, but Decline came in and shopped at my store, like looked right at me and didn't even say anything to me, and then like later on Twitter was like, "Hey, I shopped in your store today." Like, okay, then why didn't you say hi, dude?
I don't know, bro. We ain't celebrities, man. We're Blazers fans. This is it. That's it. Eric's a celebrity, but I'm not. So like Eric, you know, it's hit or miss with him. Talking to him in person, he might like tell you to F off. Me, I'll be super cool though. I'm not a celebrity. I'm a pop star, not a doctor.
Have you ever delivered to a follower? I don't think so, right? But you had some guy say like Rip City or Go Blazers too, and you were confused on how he
Yeah.
knew that or something.
I don't think I was wearing my lanyard or anything, so I don't know. Maybe somebody watched me. I've delivered to like 4 different people from my rec league before. Actually, earlier today, I delivered to somebody from my rec league. That was dope. So yeah, I've like delivered to people I know, and I'm sure I probably have delivered to somebody that knows my channel or whatnot. I've introduced people to my channel because we started talking Blazers when I've delivered to them, and I'm like, I got a YouTube channel, I cover them.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't get starstruck. Bro, I've never talked to anybody that's a fan of my channel in person, so that was the first. So it was the first for both of us. You gotta go to Vancouver and order DoorDash so Tori can pick my shit up. Yeah, good luck getting me.
Oh.
What?
That just sounded like a challenge or something.
No, I mean, like, probably gonna get some random person.
I see Sherman, like, getting a hotel room somewhere in Vancouver and ordering, like, 18,000 DoorDash meals just to try and,
Get the La Quinta in Salmon Creek. I get deliveries to there all the time. I don't know why. So, like, if it's, like, 11:30 at night, not on a Monday or Thursday, you can probably, if you're at the La Quinta in Salmon Creek, you can probably get me delivered to you. I delivered there last night, actually. But actually delivered to the to like a girl I've been talking to. I got a delivery for her. She tipped good too. I was proud. It was good. I always like delivering to people that I know them because it like takes all the stress out of it. She actually watches my stream. She probably won't make it this far though.
Hello.
If I ever see either of you in person, you likely won't know about it until after the fact.
That's disappointing.
Trevin, you're my mod, bro. You have to say something. You're my mod. You're like, it's your responsibility. You're obliged to say something. He said he was going to wear the Blazers Up Right shirt, too. See, then I would have known he wouldn't want to beat me up. I'd see my freaking sweatshirt on him. Then I would know, like, yo, it's somebody that I know. He was wearing some, like, soccer thing. I was like, man. But you're running a fade, Shervin? Come catch this fade, kid. You ain't Mayweather. I'll rock your world. I ain't joking. You can be joking. I ain't joking. I'll rock your world, man.
When you meet up to give him his $20.
He ain't gonna win $20, man. He ain't gonna win nothing.
My guy Sherman, he's every time like DK makes a catch, he's like sending me videos of it in DMs on Twitter. It's like I was like, dude, I don't need
he'll
to
fall
like.
back to earth. He'll miss a couple games, and I'll be fine. How many yards does he have? He's like barely on pace for it. Let me look it up. He has. Okay, why is his stats so weird? He has 187 yards, so he is on pace for.
Well over 1250. Well, not well over,
He's
but
on pace for more than 1150.
Was it 1150 or 1250?
Was it 1250? I forget.
It's in the Discord. I'll look.
It was 1150. Oh shit! Not my. Bro, well that's because I didn't expect them to turn Russ loose. If they run the same offense they always ran, it would be 100% different. If he doesn't get any yards next game, then he will be on pace for less than 1,000. So if he doesn't get a catch next game, or he's like gets hurt early or something, then it's out the window. So it's like 2 games in.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear any talk yet. Right now he's on pace for like 1,500. But if he doesn't get a catch next game, he's on pace for 1,000. So it's 2 games in. I don't want to hear nothing, man. If any of you guys want to bet me and have me take your money on something, then just let me know. Tor, I got a $20 bet for you. What do you want? Dionysus, what you got, bro?
If anyone wants to bet me that they think that the Nuggets are going to come back and win this series, I'll take the bet and give you odds.
I'll give you 2-1 odds. I'll give you guys 2-1 odds. You guys win $20 if the Nuggets win. If the Lakers win, I get $10. How about that? Anybody want to take that?
I know, OJ, it's terrible, but some people are like guaranteeing that the Nuggets are going to win because they got the Lakers right what they want them down 3-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did just steal my bet.
Shervins, that was because of one big play, man. That was literally because of one big play and touchdown. Like, cool, one play. Woo. Sick. Like, watch. Teams now are going to learn the freaking Seahawks offense because the Seahawks offense is different than what they were expecting heading into the season. So once they have a sample size of the Seahawks run their offense differently.
Their offense looks pretty good, though.
It does look good, but, like, teams are going into the season, teams aren't expecting them to air it out quite like that. Okay? They have to game plan. They would have had a game plan for the run and the pass. Right now, they have to game plan for mostly the pass. Like, I don't know. I feel like he's not going to produce at this level for the entire season. I just don't think that'll happen. So.
All right, I gotta get going.
All right, I just gotta see this Dionysus bit. Jody sells after next season. I don't want to take that bet. I think she probably will, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know.
He like has inside information or some shit, and he's trying to cash in.
If he has inside information, he should hook us up with someone who could actually do something about it.
Troy said he was going to have 950 yards. Yeah, that was assuming that they didn't change the philosophy of the offense, which they did. So, yeah.
Look at Torrey spinning.
No, that's the 100% truth, bro. You know that's the truth, too. Like, they were a run-heavy offense. Run first, run second down, air it out third down, and try to have Russ save the possession. Now they're, like, letting Russ loose, okay? I didn't expect them to do that. Pete Carroll's never done that with Russ. That just shows that, oh, well, at least the Pacific Northwest has one coach that'll change for the better. Like,
what's up, Ben Hewitt?
His receptions have barely changed. So, okay, so you're saying he's just capitalizing on big plays that he won't get every week, but he's got them the first 2 weeks. Okay, then yeah, he might definitely be under 1150. Because, yeah, he ain't going to average 25 yards of reception all year long. So if he's making on constant big plays, you're not going to get a constant big play every game. Kamara going to go off. Oh, I know. I'm about to be 3-0. And then week 4, I play Eric, and I'm going to beat him, and I'm going to be 4-0. Right.
Darius Slayton has a huge game.
I actually regret that trade now. I didn't think I'd get Burrow. I thought somebody would pick him up, and then I got Burrow. You're welcome, though.
He averaged 15.5 yards a catch last year.
Yeah, so he ain't going to average 25, man. Who you know had averaged that much on, like, a 1,500-yard season? I feel like that's very rare. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know.
Night, Dionysus.
Catch you later. Yeah, we got to log off. Eric got to go to bed. I'll catch you guys later. Monday with another stream. 9:45, 10 p.m. Hope you guys are there at the start. It was kind of awkward for the first 10 minutes, only having like 6 people watching today. Yeah, go steal some balloons from Eric's store.
Why would you say that?
Oh, it'd be funny. Videotape it. And he can send it to me, and I'll upload it. I'll play it on stream.
Why would you attack a local small business like that?
Because it's yours.
Struggling to survive after being closed down for several months because of the coronavirus, and you're out here promoting stealing.
It's for the meme. It's for the meme. I will cover the cost of the balloons after you steal them, Dionysus, all right? But if Eric calls the cops on you and you get thrown in jail, I ain't bailing you out. Yeah. Anyway.
The funny thing is, if he just like said, "Hey, I'm Dionysus. I can't afford balloons. Could you just give me some?"
Nope.
I'd probably let him have some, and I'd just write it off or something.
That's lame. That's lame. Nah, there's no fun in that. There's no fun in that. Go steal it, man. I'll be proud. I'll give you free merch. I'm just kidding. I'll give Eric free merch if you successfully steal from his store. That'll make up for the balloons. Actually, I gotta get you more merch because you never figured out what happened with that. I should just get you a bunch of merch, honestly, at this point. Whatever you want. But what happened to that package though? You never figured out?
Yeah, so they said that they can't figure out what happened and that whoever was the shipper needs to put in a claim on it or something.
So the USPS?
No, the person who sent the package.
Oh, so me.
Yeah, if you sent it or whoever the company is that would have sent it.
Yeah, I'll just get you a new one. It's like $15. I don't care about that. Honestly, it isn't even worth it. I'm not banking on injuries to win, Shervin. Shut the hell up. We gotta get off air, man. Don't even continue this, bro. I ain't even banking on. You're banking on him having freaking 25 yards per catch. Good luck with that. I stole a merch. I got him merch and it didn't get to him. Something happened with the shipping. So, Troy was 2 seconds away from saying peace out, go Blazers. Now I am 10 seconds away from saying peace out, go Blazers. So anyway, thank you guys for watching.
Love you all.
I'll catch you guys on Monday. Eric's messing up my outro. I love you guys too, though. That was the worst silence. That was funny. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys on Monday. Peace out. Go Blazers.